So, basically, you're gonna be learning on the fly.
Learning on the fly, yeah, my first day and the audit team shows up, so, yeah, how you doing, Dave?
Yeah, I got it. I spread off what people said.
Nice to meet you.
You're, Margaret, you're assistant clerk, right?
Yeah, deputy.
Deputy.
Our report, police report were emailed. I didn't do anything.
You gotta make sure they don't get too rowdy, right?
I guess so.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Dave.
Nice to meet you.
It's recording already. Me too. I believe it's recording already.
Okay.
So.
We'll just leave it alone.
Be back, my
Back to your problem.
A lot of teams there, they want all kinds of stuff, so,
Cool.
yeah.
And you can.
My first thing, how to get out. Yeah, she's wonderful, she, well, knowledge after 40 something years in the county, I don't know, she's seen it all. Right, yeah, you go out, you don't run again. Yeah.
Do you have the minutes?
I got the draft, but you know, Margaret.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any check. For last one.
Check, what, that's the list, right?
Well, but we haven't approved it, you should see. Oh, you're still being stuff out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do it the way Christine wanted it done, unfortunately, but there's, yeah, they're packed.
Got one copy.
No.
This report already got assessed.
And you have a treasure.
This one.
It is.
They didn't know.
Yeah, and the guys live in caution, what do you do?
Well,
They have.
that's super deluxe and.
Flavor.
You like looking at it?
But this is what he'd rather have,
Yeah.
just in case. Yeah. Sweeper in the back. Yeah, it dispenses soap and water.
And you guys.
It's my understanding of the noise ordinance, there's no time frame. Listed is related to time.
10 minutes,
So
so.
I forget the exact.
I can't get a chicken noise.
There's every other way.
No, I mean, he's in Saturday, already, so that's. Saturday.
Do you have the minutes?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I woke up.
What?
That was on this lake, I'm like, that way.
I see you got it.
Okay, me, I said, I don't know, my eyes.
Yeah, we got that. Well, you must have been there late.
How about Hudson?
Yeah, let's see, I got 4 days in a row, Tony, who drives the same motor.
Let's do that one, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something, they got a.
Well,
Just say it'll be a mess.
yeah.
The new 20?
Yeah.
Okay, and I have a question on this one.
This says.
Yeah, I brought that up. I brought that up the last meeting. We brought this up because it's a township budget. And everybody's gonna have their custody over here.
That just requires separate.
It's a law.
Yeah, it's allowed.
It's law, yeah, that's it, yeah. Because I think what, because the attorney, this is township property.
We just got it.
Township.
Contemplate, it's even, you know, when we like, when we get calls.
It doesn't mean hard. That designated as part of the current.
Nice to meet you, man.
Well, even if it's temporary, but like,
It's like, I don't know.
You administrative.
But some people say, well, I already tried.
Could have been
Yeah.
probably last February.
Administrator. Yeah.
I thought you brought that to me last meeting. Anyway, I think they had that.
They got
I think we have.
No, I won't. My wife.
Yeah, sometimes it's.
I've already seen your eyes move. Administrator of.
I'm better. Yeah. Sheriff wanted me to do it.
Okay, so the yellow is you strapped down.
Try not to. No. All the time I was in there.
Now I have
What's that?
I don't know if any other. I didn't hear
He shows up. Great job, you guys are doing a great job, you know. Yeah, well, so, my wife's a teacher, and her last name is the 7th of June, so Friday, I fly back, pick up the U-Haul, drive all the rest of our world, exactly 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
The kids are there. They are full of exits, one we got now. Let's go to, and that is like a kid.
Number 3 and a half.
And then the other one's from the main streets of Charleston.
I don't think I printed that off.
They say static.
And I thought he forwarded it there. Yeah.
No, I think two of them,
So,
like you said, two of them.
yeah, so it's the shelter. I was in Minnesota, and that was the closest, shelter. And single tracks. She was, no, no. It's like, fine, I'm going to get this. He kept calling me, it's like, and I didn't go, and I. The other one is, Nelson. But we already have my son Will, so instead of calling him Will, he's Nelson. So is this your family gift or you don't know, you just go to all of them? No, it's. Oh, yeah, it's exciting.
Yes, they know. Yeah. Yeah, so,
And check out, a lot of people there tonight.
he said I could go up with the legal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask if the board have the.
Oh, Sarah, she's smiling because that. Cat, eating canary.
Chickens, ducks, turkeys, rabbits.
I'm gonna ask that.
Okay, please ensure your cell phones are muted or turned off and join me in the pledge. We'll open the meeting, I believe, at 7 p.m.
And to the republic, which is very, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the absence of the clerk, I will be taking the roll. If you haven't signed in on the sign sheet, please do. Looks like we have Kevin and Arietta on the Zoom. Okay, Mr. Bradley. Here. The Keys. Here. Ms. Giles.
Here.
Okay, all present, I'm present. Absent is the clerk. Hope she's enjoying Ireland. Disclosure of conflicts, we have a lot of.
I have no.
I have none. I have none. Okay, where's some? Approval of the agenda.
I'd like to add something to the agenda. And that is for a citizen complaint. Would recommend, the board ask the planning commission to take a look at the ordinance for possible changes. That will be, look at Article 13, single family residential district R1. 3.2, section C, letter F.
That's Article 13,
Yes,
section what?
section C, letter F.
And that is critters.
Yes, and, yeah. Domestic pet, livestock, poultry.
Okay, and,
Maybe put that at some.
well, it'd be, D under planning commission. I keep feeling I'm forgetting something. Okay, back to cemetery, reminded. Treasurer. Executive. And, oh, the other thing would be, replacement for Tina Fields, whose last planning commission meeting will be May the 7th.
Well, it's pretty hard when we don't have the application.
We did have them for the planning commission. Ryan, are you here?
Yeah.
You still, interested in the planning commission?
Yes.
Okay. I think we had one other applicant, I can't recall.
Might have been Kevin.
Kevin, area.
Kevin was interested,
He's
but Kevin's on Zoom. He
Yeah, he's on his own.
There was another,
I don't know if he's muted or not.
there was another person, it wasn't either one of these gentlemen.
I think we did that to plug a hole. But we'll have to look back at the, I believe it's the February minutes.
Yeah, it was one of the gentlemen who was, wanted to be, zoning administrator.
You said you'd like to be on.
That would be, Dan,
That sounds about right.
Dan Kelly.
Don Kelly.
Don Kelly. But I think he's more interested in the code enforcement officer if we create that. So,
We can adjust it when we get there. I'm gonna add that to.
yes. So that goes, it's item E.
Oh, yeah.
Planning commission, item three. See vacancy. Okay, Kevin, are you up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Are you still interested in the planning commission?
Can't hear him now.
Are you still interested in the planning commission vacancy?
I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm supposed to be speaking up to y'all. The planning commission vacancy, are you interested?
Well, the problem is I'm intending on still being in Arizona all winter, so I'm understanding I can't really cast a vote, so it might not be a good thing.
Okay, yeah, I think you brought that up last time. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay,
All right, approval of the agenda as amended. All in favor?
Second that.
Second. All right, all in favor? All right, opposed? Okay, public comment? Chairman.
I like to introduce David Schaefer, the Union County.
Administrator. So I'm new, this is day 4. I just wanted to come introduce myself to the elected officials. I got to meet some of the other elected officials at the MTA quarterly meeting. That was Monday night. So I just wanted to come say hi. I can give you my contact information if you have any. I'm in the process of getting business cards on day 4, so if you want to take that down, and if you ever have any questions about the county, let me know. we have, several asks on the, ballot for the 6th of August. And so we will be trying to get some community forums together at the new multi-sport court at the Coliseum, kind of do a 2-for-1. Have the residents see the new space as well as get the information out. So,
This is county ballot proposals
correct,
for the
so,
primary.
yep, so we're gonna invite John Rogers with the road commission, they have a renewal. We're gonna have, invite John Roberts with the county library. We'll invite, Mr. Mark from the Conservation District, that's a renewal. The Coliseum is asking for a renewal, you'll see my mug there. And then, we also have the, sheriff is asking for a 0.6 increase to be able to keep 911 dispatch in the county. So we'll have information sheets, that will be, available. And, what we're looking is Saturday, the 22nd of, June. We have to have the absentee ballots ready 45 days prior to that August 6th. So we'll, probably be doing that week leading up to, maybe like a Tuesday evening, the 18th, a Saturday morning, and then midday next week. So, much more information to come. We'll keep you posted when those are available.
Okay. What's your primary mission, organization, and, I mean, this is the first time we've had a county administrator,
Well, I'm county administrator CFO, so I also gotta do the accounting. Keep that rolling, keep the, the administration as far as not having the department heads report directly to 7 members of the Board of Commissioners and have a point person to make that happen.
Okay, so, yeah, you're the focal point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Public comment.
I understand that Township Protection Alliance sent a correspondence to the board regarding 4th of July weekend and the placement of porta johns that they have done in both Milton and Clearwater Township since 2015. They are discontinuing that. And so, while I don't have a copy of the letter, I could get you one if you don't have it.
I had it, and I don't think I brought it.
The hope is, that the township would place more porta johns there in lieu of the fact that there aren't gonna be nearly enough. I live down in that area, as many of you know, and over the 4th of July weekend, at least once, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, I walk down the Lake Street and talk to law enforcement and see how they're using the facilities there, are they having problems with trash, is there anything additional that they think would help them in their policing of that, I'm not gonna call it an event because it's more like mayhem than anything. And those porta johns get a ton of use, and I know TLPA had them emptied frequently because one year they didn't. And there was a huge mess all over the ground that the township owns. So I hope if you haven't had a chance to look at that you do pull that out, take a peek and consider replacing those porta johns over the 4th of July weekend to help try to keep the lake clean for swimmers and children.
Yeah, we'll look at what we had last year and see if we can up that.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
could you forward that letter?
Yes,
To the board?
yeah, when I get back home, I'll PDF it to everybody. So, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't bring that, because I had it in my hand before I left. Okay, public comment?
I'm asking for a couple of extra minutes. Normally it's 3 minutes. I know there've been other people that have been granted more than 3 minutes, and I'm asking for that.
Okay, please proceed.
At last month's board meeting, I was denied the right to speak on the discussion to hire then zoning administrative firm to train a new zoning administrator. Yes, I was out of order, but in all honesty, so were several other people who had commented on and asked questions about previous items of discussion. Had there been copies of the agenda available to the public, I would have been able to see this was going to be addressed and would have spoken during the public comment allowed. I had no idea this board was considering hiring this firm who was paid $46,500 for a 2-year contract ending in April, an additional up to $2,500 to train a new zoning administrator. When this firm first started, the zoning administrator with guns blazing, she sent over 600 notices to property owners with notices of violations. Some actually did clean things up. There was one incident, the zoning administrator was threatened and the sheriff was called. Of course, that was a huge concern to all of us. She was told by her then maintenance supervisor and myself, if she had a concern about a property owner, that we would gladly accompany her to the property. We were never taken up on our offer. She also held a meeting between property owners concerning the then issue of short-term rentals in Clearwater Township. I attended and thought it was beautifully done. The meeting cost the township an additional $2,300. This board is still dealing with the SDR issue and nothing was settled then or now. Last summer, after the zoning administrator not having been in the township office for months, I took pictures of several residents on Valley Road that were and still are disgusting and are definitely a blight. Filled out the proper complaint forms and turning into the zoning administrator's office with pictures. I did receive a response shortly thereafter. The one house on the corner of Valley and Wilhelm, I was told the pile of trash had been moved. Well, that's well and fine, but the rest of the property is deplorable with trash and garbage piled everywhere. There are currently people living there. There was another house on Valley, the blue one with the cars and the camper. The cars had not been moved for at least 2 years. No one is living there and the house has been completely empty for at least a year. She sent me a picture of the house after the grass had been cut last year. She also told me the owner had told her the cars were running. I was told the camper did not need her plate. She bothered to visit the property. She would have been able to see the 2 trucks parked in the back of the property, none of which were then or are now capable of running. The next is the abandoned trailer, the Field of Dreams, that was not addressed. The next was the ongoing yard sale on Valley Road. The resident has been told his items need to be at least 30 feet back from the center of the road. That has been done. These are only a few instances that are eyesores. I told her these things were not addressed and that she doesn't have to look at them, but I, as well as anyone traveling on Valley Road, do. There are other residents that are even worse and have been ignored. For those not living directly in town or who use Valley Road, they may not see the blight, but those of us living and driving around Rapid City see it every day. Maybe this board does not care that the zoning administrator is not doing her job, but I do. I honestly believe Clearwater Township residents do. This township has spent thousands to try to clean up our township with yearly cleanup days. Neither of these residents brought anything to the last previous event. I was there. It is my opinion that this company has not lived up to their end of the contract, and yet the board wants to give them an additional $2,500 to train a new zoning administrator. Do you not see the blatant stupidity of this? I do not doubt they are qualified to train someone, but as they have not fulfilled their contract to the township and have been absent for months, I feel that at the very least they owe the township the time it takes to train the new zoning administrator. Further, there are classes the new zoning administrator can and should take that will not cost the township an additional $2,500. And by the way, they are taught by the same person this board has voted to pay to train the new zoning administrator. I have put a folder with pictures of some of the blatant trash houses on the desk of the board, as well as a table on the back of the room for the board as well as the pub to see why I am so upset. It is my sincere hope the board will address this with the former zoning administrator firm as well as the newly appointed zoning administrator. Thank you.
Thank you. Duly noted. Any other public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Linda Bickham. I had a notice that we are getting a lot of commercial road stands that are advertising for people that want to come to your houses and do things. About at least 10 years ago, I think, we had an ordinance that prohibited signs like that unless they were on the property where the work was being done.
Okay, you're talking about, like roofing and, you know, the signs, the county should remove them when they, cause they're on most of the county roads. Okay, but, and that's the well-traveled roads, which are the county's responsibility, but yeah, they should be either moved back off the easement, okay, or taken down. But yes, as far as the township ordinance, if they're on private property, they're allowed, as long as they're set back from the easement of the road. And likewise, they should be for the, county roads, and the county should actually be removing them. So that's something for, the road committee, that you might bring that up at your next meeting, and, we'll just start taking them out, or moving them, one of the two.
I don't think they're paying for.
But we're talking about the ordinance that we had, well, it was for campaign signs, yard signs, stuff like that. And the other one was for fixed signs. So, the zoning administrator, take a look at that. Basically, if you're advertising for a commercial business, it has to be off the road easement. So, and that's a county function for most of the roads here. So I know what you're talking about, because I've seen them. Any other public comment? Yes, ma'am?
I'm Teresa Sherman with the Safety Committee, and I just want to make two comments. One thing, John West, he's handled a few things that I'm aware of, and he's doing a great job so far on his new tenure. And I live on Crystal Beach Road, and I see much more of a sheriff presence since we've signed the contract. So I just wanted to make those two positive comments.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Anybody else? Just a few.
Yeah, just a couple of things here. Met Dave last night at the meeting as well, and I've already informed him that we're like 15% of his budget, so just bring up to speed there. And also, this is kind of personal here, but when I was in Kalkaska yesterday, I got the paperwork organized, and I'm gonna file to run for supervisor in this upcoming election. So.
Good for you. I know I'm gonna get phone calls after November 20th. I can guarantee that. Anybody else, public comment? Mr. West?
Real quick, two of the things that the main thing I see that sometimes the township forgets to do is old business when the trustee Keys took over. One of the things that I have to commend him on was doing that. Old business, very important to take care of it. Don't kick it down the road. Don't kick the can down the road. And there's two issues I think that are getting kicked down the road right now. And one is, the prior clerk, in an investigation. And I don't know where it stalled or why it stalled, but clearly it has stalled. As well as the prior maintenance supervisor investigation, closure, again, it's stalled. We can't allow things to go for 6 months, 9 months, a year. It just, it's not appropriate. It promotes more of it ultimately. Thank you for your time.
Anybody else? Okay, moving on. Guest reports. Deputy Geiger. Yes.
Oh.
I want to get you out of here back on the road, so.
Good evening, everyone. Frank Brady, been in the sheriff's office for about 6 years. I just started April 1st with, working the township up here. So I'll be involved at least 40 hours. My goal is to spend plenty more than that up here. As far as report from last month, I don't have that with me. My first report will be in May for the township.
So I just wanted to have you introduce yourself, and you may or may not be working with our zoning administrator, John West.
I probably will
So,
at some point. You're gonna see it.
Yeah, when we start pushing some blight buttons around here, you may get a phone call.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
I do have a question. This was gonna be in my planning commission report, but it's pretty much under what you're doing. Question, was when the sheriff deputy does their store beer, wine, and liquor inspection, what are they inspecting for?
There's multiple things that we inspect for. A lot of this is accordance with, the state, so we check for, if there's any illegal gambling. If there's any open containers of alcohol, if they have sales records, if there's a printed, price list available for alcohol. If there's any minors, on scene, if there's any drunk people on scene.
Cigarette taxes,
Yeah, it's basically that, cooperation with the licensee, and make sure the license that they post on the wall is good.
That is part of your monthly sheriff's report. I think I saw one in the last batch.
And you did state that as a state requirement?
Yes, so the state will issue a liquor license to certain establishments, and then it's my understanding, the sheriff's department, we've been responsible for going through and doing the monthly inspections.
Okay, thank you.
And then I don't do the Clearwater one, that's been made clear to me, so I don't do the Clearwater liquor inspections.
That's assigned to a deputy on a monthly basis?
Yeah, so we all have our own, townships that we're responsible for. I do, Rapid Grade Township, then there's a different deputy that comes up once a month and does the Clearwater Township liquor inspections.
Okay, anybody else from the public have any questions for?
Do you have any updates on the investigation?
That was state police, I believe.
Well, no, we got one with state police and we got one with the county.
I'm not sure on that.
No, we'd have to ask the sheriff himself.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'll ask you that, liquor inspections, the deputy that does it, does that come off our contract time?
No, not to my understanding, and Paul was explaining that.
It should, that was one of the complaints, because it's state ordered. And it should be part of the, county sheriff's, whether or not we hire,
Yeah, so,
an extra hour, deputy.
yeah, so to my understanding, Sheriff Whiteford has told me I'm not to do any of the Clearwater Township liquor inspections. It's because of that reason there, and that's why the deputy is assigned to it.
Okay, we made our point. Okay. I guess, you can go back on the road.
Awesome.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, and. Okay, we're supposed to have a Todd Williams here from, Leaning Green, Michigan.
Sorry for being a couple minutes late.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Longer than expected from Toledo.
Okay, you have the floor.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm traveling around the state to all of our member jurisdictions to talk about the updates to the property assessed clean energy statute, and the need to update, your program report to bring it in line. And I believe Mary Freeman had sent a draft version with the changes, for the update. Basically, property assessed clean energy is a way for private, industrial, commercial, agricultural, and multifamily property owners to implement energy efficiency or renewable energy upgrades to their properties, by taking a loan out with a private lender. The township's role is only in placing a tax assessment against that property, which would benefit the lender if they don't pay. It's a way of financing 100% of the project costs for the property owners, potentially benefiting them, and getting projects done and completed, with backing of private capital, private investment. The law changed, this past July, went into effect in February, that made some modifications to how we operate under the law. One is it codified new construction projects. So not only, now the way that my company has been helping administer and run the program for the last couple of years for new construction, is now actually built in to undertake a new construction project. You have to build above code. Anything that you want to finance with PACE needs to be above code, because why should we help you build a building that, it's the worst building you can build, it's a code building. Why shouldn't we inspire you to try and build a little better? It's tough. Our energy codes in the state of Michigan are actually pretty good. A little hard to get above them, but frankly, if we're going to be using the power of the local government to help secure a loan for you, we should inspire you to go above and beyond and build something a little better. That's how we've focused on in the last few years, and that's how we continue to do it. So that's kind of the first change. Second change is a little wonky. There's always been a guarantee requirement from the contractor to the property owner. We've had the most stringent one in the nation here in Michigan. We've had property owners yelling at us for years that they would like to tone back some of that, protection, and so for retrofits of existing buildings, that guarantee is now waivable by the property owner. They no longer have to have it. I'm not sold on that completely, so I wanted to make sure that it was waivable. Some of the PACE lenders nationwide would like to just see the requirement go away completely. We fought to keep it and make it waivable with the property owner. Also for Clearwater, and when we're reviewing the project with you, if you don't think it's a good project, you don't have to support it for any reason, including, they raise it, and you want the savings to investment and savings guarantee requirement to still be there. So it'll be interesting as we move forward and see how that gets implemented. The reality is some of the property owners are paying an additional 1% of the project cost as a savings guarantee, for that savings guarantee for 25 years. That really adds up. If you're talking about a, $1 million project, an extra 1% annually for 25 years starts to add up, and they don't really feel like they're getting 25 years that protection. So the final change caused by the statute is the introduction or the inclusion of a few new things that you can finance in addition to kind of your classics of LED lighting and new HVAC systems. New area called environmental hazard PACE, which actually will allow PACE financing to be used to, trying to remember the 4 bullet points off the top of my head, mitigate lead, PFAS, and heavy metals from potable water systems on properties, mitigate lead paint in properties, also to make the buildings or make the property more resilient against severe floods and droughts. There's one other one that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But the changes to the statute have necessitated us to travel around the state and talk with our local jurisdictions about updating their program report. Every jurisdiction forming a PACE district and forming a PACE program adopts a program report. And so, we're proud to work with a bunch of townships and cities and counties across the state, but now we have to make sure that we're compliant with the statute. So happy to take any questions.
I have one right off the bat.
Yeah.
So somebody wants to participate in the program, the application goes to you first?
Then we happily administer it. I mean, if they want to reach out to you guys first, that's fine, but
Okay.
we're here to do the work for you. So I'd recommend you just send it down to us.
And we've got several irons on the fire, so if somebody came to us, I would basically refer them to the PACE program.
You can?
Okay,
Yep.
and so that they understand what they're getting into.
Yeah, and we're here to help make the process as easy as possible, not only for the jurisdiction, but for the lenders, contractors, and especially the property owners.
I believe 2 years ago, we approved the entire township as a PACE program participant, so I was just wondering where the application would go first. If they're not approved for your program, there's no reason for us to take something up. But what I'm saying is the application should go to you, so you can review what they want.
Yep, and
then when they come to us,
we'll get all the ducks in a row.
all the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted. Okay.
Secretly, what we'll do first is kind of reach out and make sure, because there's 4 of us at Meeting Green, Michigan. We cover 58 jurisdictions. I don't know your jurisdiction as well as you do. And so we tend to reach out if we hear from somebody and say, are there any glaring red flags about this? Should we move forward with this property owner or not? And it's, there was a wonderful project years ago down around Lansing. It seemed like it'd be just a easy project, straightforward. We find out that property owner owns 28 different LLCs across the county. And 26 of them pay their taxes. 2 of them never paid their taxes. And, the county treasurer was like, fuck no, we're not working with them. So, I want to hear that. I'm gonna reach out to you guys right after we talk to the property owner. And
So,
if there's no red flags, we'll try to work through the process. And if it's not a good fit, I'm gonna tell them, go explore a few other
Yes,
things.
So my understanding is we need to renew.
Not renew, your program is in existence, it just no longer quite complies with the statute. So amending the program would work with the revised version that we had provided, draft version we provided. We'll bring it now into compliance with the current statute, and a couple of changes are just best practices that we've adopted since you've adopted your program. We continue to learn and try to implement best practices where we can.
Thank you.
Okay, so that would be a May. Okay, so that will. Okay, minutes, March 21st.
Tonight, the people on they're having trouble with, it says broadband low. Is there an issue with the internet?
I still got Kevin Harriet on here.
Okay,
You can't hear
he just says it keeps breaking up.
Okay, I can't hear you.
Just an FYI.
If you can't hear, Kevin, you use the chat function. Are you muted? I can't hear you. I don't see the mute button up there.
No, I'm off mute.
Go. There, I got you now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I certainly can.
I'm
hear?
sorry. No, it's really all broken up, and it shows that broadband is low.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's an issue that you guys got to fix, but yeah, I can't hear or see half of the stuff that's going on.
Okay, so it's breaking up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably our broadband not being hooked up to the new charter high speed spectrum. We'll take a look at that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, anybody have any corrections, additions, deletions to the 21st minutes?
I have a question because I've heard different after you said, since Kevin's on there, you're still there, Kevin, right?
What's,
It said Durkee's
Yes.
would, it's at our last meeting, it was said Durkee's would bring Freon at no cost. Is that accurate?
that was not accurate.
Okay.
That was my mistake.
Okay.
What he would do would certify an empty Freon tank for free. Okay, and the Freon cost for recovery is $25 per unit. So that was my error.
We need to correct that one.
And that was what?
Well, no, because that's what I said.
Oh,
As far as that, we can
But
put
we
the
can correct
correction
it with the
in these
posts.
minutes.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Motion to approve the minutes is written.
Make a motion to approve, minutes as written.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, 21st. Correspondence legal. I did send a draft letter for a payment schedule for the remaining West settlement of $3,500 a quarter. That was sent back to me by the township council. It said should come from the board. So I would like to make a motion that the remaining settlement, $15,000 be paid in 35. Let's see, but it's $37.50 per quarter on the last payday of the first month of each quarter, which means that as next payday, the first check would go out, $37.50. Is that acceptable to you, sir?
Sure.
Okay.
Easy.
All right, so in order to make this official, I would move that what I just said, the payments to be divided into $37.50 per quarter to be paid on the last payday of the first month of each quarter for 4 quarters.
I'll second that.
I'm not writing checks, it sounds good to me. Okay, so I've got a motion and a second, roll call vote, Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Keys.
Yes.
Ms. Childs,
Yes.
and, I vote yes. The second thing on legal, former clerk, the email I got, I think I distributed, was, basically to make a counter offer for her to, reimburse half of what, the audit showed that she, owed the township, which was $4,005 and some change. I guess we could discuss this, but in my view, it's a matter of principle. Once the error was discovered for the overpayment, I made immediate arrangements to repay that, which I have. Not only did she overpay herself, which we have the documentation for, she did cost the township an extra $2,000 in audits, one each for myself and one for her. And to me, it's a matter of principle. This is taxpayer money. It might cost us $5,000 to get $6,000 back. So.
Does our insurance cover that? Our insurance company cover that?
I would have to make a phone call, but, and the other suggestion would be just drop it. But to me, it's a matter of principle. So, what I need to know is, what do we want to do next year? Do you have any suggestions?
I emailed everybody and I asked if we could get all the, communication between, because she was a board member, between her.
I asked for that and, his response was, he's working on it.
Okay.
So, and the other thing is, we could file a criminal complaint.
I did talk to the prosecutor and he would like to see the audit.
So, before we get to that point, okay, and, further, blemish someone's reputation, I would like to, basically, she's basically, her lawyer, flat turned down, I think I forwarded that email to, and said that we owe her an additional $1,000 on top of what she was overpaid. So, obviously, this will end up in court one way or the other. So, I could contact the insurance company. He's gonna probably tell me, to go to the police and the prosecuting attorney. In which case we would get a judgment, and then, proceed from there. Or, like I said, file charges against her for embezzlement. So.
So as the sheriff's investigation is gone to the prosecutor?
It has, the sheriff's investigation was dismissed by the prosecutor back, oh, God, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that just a week ago or 2 weeks ago, he said, bring in the audit.
Okay, well, what I can do is, forward the audit, and you still have your copy of the documentation for,
Everything?
the payments, yeah. I gave mine.
The prosecutor has it too.
Okay,
The
well, the
sheriff's department
prosecutor
turned it
has it.
into him.
Our township lawyer has it. He has my review.
Mhm,
Okay, he also has the audit.
mhm.
So,
Well, I tell you, if I may,
go ahead.
I tell you, I'm just sitting here, I've read this paper from the lawyer, and I think the township's in trouble on this one. I don't think, we're gonna come out on top on this one. I mean, I could sit here and read some of the stuff that you.
Is that her attorney or our attorney?
That is our attorney.
Our attorney.
You know, and there's, right off the bat, does to be appear of substantial absence of documentation to support the pay, in fact, received and or gave herself. You know, and then it goes on, And I kind of weighed this out, and I don't see the township winning this thing. You know, as much as, yeah, I'm with you there, if you do wrong, you should pay for it. But at what price are we willing to go here?
I think the important thing is to get the text messages and the FOIAs, because when this was going on, I asked our attorney, I had questions about both of them. And I've got an email saying from him, he was not allowed to talk to me, only the clerk and the supervisor was able to talk to him. So I could, as your board member, I could not get any questions answered, so that bothers me. I would like to see what the text messages are to the attorney and any phone calls, because at that time.
Yes, I requested it. I didn't get into the text messaging, but I wanted the email between, Brad and the clerk.
I think we should table this until we get, some feedback from our town representative.
I agree.
Yeah,
Okay,
but just reading this, and I know you've all read it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, I think everything's stacked against us at this point.
They're actually in the sheriff's report that came on that. I got a FOIA for that, and there was a lot of false statements in that. It said that, she said, yeah, there was false statements, so how do we deal with this?
we don't have anything in front of us, so let's not speculate. So.
That was we just got that a few months ago. So he didn't get that at the time that everything else was turned over.
Okay. Because the other way around that, if it's a provable case. If it's a provable case, you take it to court, get a judgment against her, or, basically turn it over to the prosecuting attorney and, see if, that goes. He wants to file charges. If he wants to file. Yeah, if he wants to file some charges, if he would recommend filing charges. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is, get the emails in question.
All communications, not just emails, all communications.
Well, now you're getting into phones.
You're out of order.
And yes, you ought to take this one step at a time, please. Okay, because we're getting into the legal weeds here. And I believe we should at least attempt to recover our money. I'm sure everybody in the public would agree with that, one way or the other. Okay, so I need the emails in question, and the audit needs to go to the sheriff. Next item, reports, please keep them kind of short and sweet, so we got here before 11 o'clock.
My treasurer's report is short and sweet, everybody's got it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm really pleased that, we have invested in Michigan Clash. You can see all the interest going. And we're watching the accounts and the different, banks, all the banks, and, Huntington, and making sure it doesn't go up over 250,000. And then anything that does is being transferred to Michigan Class, which if needed, we can get it out very easily. In the meantime, it's drawn lots of interest, and I have, a request, and you were gonna bring it up later. My daughter is my deputy. She became my deputy when Sylvia resigned. And, after that time, she was suddenly divorced. So she's a single mom. And she had to get a full-time job. So right now, she is overwhelmed. She's working 60 hours, including what she's doing for me and, for our township. She has done amazing. This stuff is hers. I mean, she's a techie person. She's the mindset for that. We have, she has created, it's totally changed. Our treasury is totally changed. We are working with different banks. Now we are doing, credit card payments. We are doing check readers, and it's saving the township money. And the more we use it, it's gonna save more money on time. But what she's asking now, she's contacted Tom too. She said she would like to resign now or soon and have me appoint a new deputy. And she would like, she does, we both feel she needs to continue, she needs to train that person. It's really hard when you get elected and seated in November, and suddenly you have all the taxes to do, and you don't have a clue what you're doing. And thankfully, I had Sylvia at that time for almost 2 years, and she had been the deputy for 18 and a half years. And I personally feel that the treasurer, whoever's elected, should know both jobs, the deputy, and not just the deputy being the tax person, but both the treasurer and the deputy treasurer should know the whole job. Like that, because you never know when one of us not gonna be able to make it, or someone, so that's my thought, and I know she contacted you about, she would like to be contracted, she quit early first, continue helping through November, but for me to find a deputy that would be my deputy, and get paid, and she get paid for training that person, so by the time the winter taxes are here, that person's ready to go, she's already gone through the summer taxes, and they will know, so that's what that.
Yeah, Deanne called me, she would like to be relieved of her duties as soon as possible. I had 2 names thrown at me, I haven't contacted either one of them, get an application in, you know, experience and qualifications, that kind of stuff, but one of them seems capable, and hopefully, if I can get those 2 names, contact information, I'll have them put in an application. And if we have to call a 3-member board meeting, pick one, the sooner the better, because I know Deanne's pulling her hair out.
Actually, the treasurer chooses the deputy, the board.
Well,
doesn't have to.
Yeah, you can,
And I'm talking to people right now.
okay,
And so thankfully, so Kelly agreed that she would help me talk to people and interview to see if they're a good fit, because her heart is for our finances to be good too. And she's helped me a lot. with the-
okay.
So this is in the hands of the treasurer.
The treasurer,
This is, the ball's in your part. You got it.
okay, so we need a name,
I don't need a name right now, I'll bring it to you in May.
no, I understand that, but, when you find somebody,
Mhm.
okay, first of all, they're gonna have to be sworn in,
Mhm.
do their tax paperwork, et cetera, and, inform the board.
Mhm.
Okay, and then as far as, paying, basically what we'd be doing is paying 2 deputies for a period of 60 to 90 days.
After the election, usually this is done after the election, the board paid Barb Cramble to help me. And, we didn't need any help, but
I understand that, but what I'm saying
this is
is,
done before.
yeah, Deanne's done a great job of basically consolidating some of our accounting practices, expense tracking, et cetera, which were pretty strange when we first took over. But now we're operating off of real numbers, real-time numbers. So, I commend her for that, that and the clerk, getting together and what you see in front of you in these reports now is accurate. Okay, we found, accounting wise, when we first took over, discrepancies in the fire fund and discrepancies in the general fund that were 20 years old. And had to go back and correct them to get a true number for a bank statement, because the bank statements weren't matching what they were reporting at the township meetings. So they just carried forward the error for all that time. So anyway, so my question is, I need a motion, basically to pay double duty for a deputy.
Well, why don't we wait and see who you choose to, because they might already know. You know,
They're not gonna know all this stuff, they're still gonna need to be
because,
trained.
I mean, my concern is we already went through the budget
Mhm.
and we didn't budget that in.
Right, but can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Last year, we spent 33,009 in the treasurer's office, we budgeted for 43,000 this year, so there's money in
Okay.
their budget, I would say.
Good call.
Yeah.
Well, and this would be temporary too, it would be,
Oh, great.
60 to 90 days until she got a grip on the situation.
Like her,
And then, Deanne would be retired.
I can guarantee she won't put in more than she has to, because she's overwhelmed.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, we need permission of the board
Yeah.
upon the hiring and the swearing in of a new deputy. So we need authorization to pay them both for a period of,
So you start off with 3 months.
start off with 90 days, okay? All right, I'll make that motion and would be the same pay as the current deputy gets.
Correct.
So my motion is to pay the trainee, okay, the same wages as the deputy treasurer for a period of 90 days.
I'll second that one.
Okay, Ms. Childs, roll call,
Because it's my daughter, I'm gonna abstain on that.
for both.
Because she's my daughter, I don't
Okay.
abstain.
Doesn't benefit you though.
You can't abstain, it's illegal to abstain.
It doesn't benefit you at all, really.
No, it doesn't, well,
No, it doesn't, it's,
because I'm still treasurer till November, it does,
Right.
but yeah, I see what you're saying, yes.
okay. Roll call, I vote yes. Mr. Keys?
Yes.
Yes. Bradley? Yes.
One thing you need to know is, the tax season for summer actually starts 3 months from now.
I know that, so,
That's when the on-duty training will be.
okay, so we'll deal with that bridge when we get through. Because it could be an additional month, basically.
Okay.
Okay, clerk checks for approval, I don't know if she had anything for us that was out of the ordinary. Sheriff's Department, we have the new deputy, sheriff's report was in the email. Fire Department. Still here.
Yeah.
Okay, in addition to your written report, you have a project for us.
Certainly, yeah, so I was asked to present a proposal for, ARPA funds that are in the township for a fire department training room. It could be a multi-use facility too, if it's done correctly, which I'll do it correctly. It will have audio, video equipment. It could be used for township board meetings. It could be used for better communication. Obviously, if you have a hard time listening. It could be used as an EMS community room. The medics that are there 24 hours a day, have a program where they could do just check some people's blood pressures, blood sugars, whatnot. For someone that maybe can't go to a clinic or go to the Traverse City, they could possibly get that done there as well. It would be like an office in there that's private, so it'll just identify early symptoms of medical conditions. There was a plan done by former Chief Jeff West, that's in the packet, that kind of lays out the training room. So, and then there was a proposal done by it was like an engineering firm. They gave it was a pretty close budget of what it was cost to do the room. It was around 330,000. I've got one estimate already for right around 300. Obviously, if this was approved.
And this is the yellow highlighted area.
Yes, it'd be the yellow highlighted areas. So obviously, if this was approved, it would go out for a bid process in the newspaper, so that everybody would have a chance to bid on it, and then obviously go through that process.
Okay, so this is a bump out?
No, existing bay.
It's existing?
Yeah, existing bay, that's just out of the ambulance, and, well, the tractor's over there right now, shit tractor. Just for easy use.
And this is,
So the ambulance would move over to our other bay, where our current training room is. So. And also provide a better environment.
okay, so basically you're removing those garage doors
Correct, yeah.
and just,
They'll be filled in,
converting the room.
yes. The ceiling would be lower, there'd be a, HVAC system put in. There'd be a handicap, unisex bathroom that would be put in.
Would they, this a separate HVAC or would they tie it just?
It would be separate. Yeah, it'd be separate.
Chances are it'd be vacant most of the time.
What's that?
Chances are it would be vacant for the majority of the time.
Yeah, it's gonna be vacant for the majority of the time. But right now, we have an overhead heater that's probably not very efficient.
Yeah. Old gas boiler.
Yeah.
Okay, the, ARPA funds have to be committed, not spent, but committed by the, I believe it is the 30th of this month.
No. It has to be, there are still things we can do with that, and it's actually December 24th this year.
Okay, I haven't read
We
the,
have to
got
report,
an email this morning from them that I didn't open.
yeah, we have to report, like we did last year on the 30th of April. We have to report every year. And we've been told that that can actually, because we're under 10,000 people, whatever, we can actually move that ARPA fund into the general fund. 98%.
My point is, we're not gonna have another meeting before the 30th. So we should do something with this money.
Well, since I've been on this board, we have not denied the fire department anything. We've given you just about everything that you wanted. My main concern, especially with the ARPA money, is our township hall. It's way outdated. It's supposed to be in a case of mercy that we house people in there. We can't house them, we can't really feed them. There's no shower, the bathrooms are inadequate. I think the ARPA money needs to go to the township hall for remodeling. That's my opinion. I mean, it's not getting any better. Nothing's getting fixed over there. It's only gonna be worse.
And the offices are very crowded.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The office needs.
I mean, we need showers, we need new bathrooms, the whole thing needs to be remodeled. If we have an emergency situation.
So
We
here's
can't house them.
here's my question, what do we put in the report?
What we do? What you said?
What do we put in the report?
Well, I think
We
that,
don't have to report right now. Not by April 30th, we just send them a report like you've done every year.
I will go through the rules, forward them, and if the April 30th deadline is what we need to do, for a report, we'll handle that.
I think I'm not saying maybe all of it, but I know, I would say at least 75% of the ARPA needs to be earmarked for the township hall.
I have been told, and Lisa said.
Well, first, we need a set of plans for it, we need a layout, and, GFA has been asked to do that, and, I hope her with an email this morning, didn't get back. But she's been having a hard time getting an architect to do it.
Can I have Brian go to the building and check it over, and Jeff went too, to see what was possible with the roof line going to the north. And I have copies of the original plan, which was done, Greg told me, I think by the former board, or it's been around. There have been committees for decades probably to do something with that hall. And nothing's ever done, because then it goes to the next board and nothing's ever done. I would really like to see a plan. We have that, we are renting it all the time. There's not enough. There just isn't enough. I mean,
We got it, it's
Okay.
basically what I proposed, the GFA was just lean to 28 feet out, same thing.
I'm getting back to you, I'm not saying that you don't need it,
Right.
but the hall is in dire need
No, I was just asked to present it, that's all, so.
May I-
If there's an option to do it, we have.
Do you
to
still have
finance it.
grants going out, or applying for grants?
Not for that,
Not
no.
construction.
We could though, right? Apply
Yeah.
for grants for healthcare means.
It depends what they're issuing grants for at that time. A lot of it's not for construction.
And you're here. Christine went to the meeting about the hospital, and that's all up in the air what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And if they ended up buying us out, the townships will get them.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately.
I like the
It's a
idea.
great idea, this is a great idea, that's a great idea, but I think ultimately, you know, my opinion, like, should really start looking at building a whole new township hall. Fire station combination, because both buildings are old. You know, we're only gonna last so much longer, and it's, you know, you're gonna, you know, put an extension on it, do this, do that, I mean. Ultimately, it's years down the road, but if you're gonna be getting that amount of money.
Nothing's gonna happen tomorrow.
Right,
In any case.
but it's always an option, thank you. But, yeah, like I said, this was just, I just was asked to write the full lines, I did.
Yeah.
With this up to you guys.
I like the idea about people going to get their blood pressures.
Yeah.
We could do drug screens. There's a lots of things that we could do. I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
We have to get the hall. We have to get it fixed. So if we have a disaster, we have a way to take care of people.
Okay, anything else? You
No,
got
that's
it.
Two great needs out there.
Okay, moving on.
Can we get a hold of the, and see what, is there any progress being made as far as coming up with a game plan?
Like I said, I've been, sending her email or a phone call about once a week for the past 2 months.
Well, I know we've got a contract going with Fraser, but Vander Fleet or whoever it was that did the other one is still out there too.
Yeah.
And they have all the prints and everything.
Actually, Ryan and Jeff both looked at the prints. Ryan took them home and see how they could be adapted. And I think if you would let him speak, it would be a good thing.
Those were options, presentations, or, so I haven't looked at them in a couple of years.
Like 2 months ago.
Can Ryan have 3 minutes to say what he found out, or do you want to do it at the time? He took the time to come over and measure and look at, and he took the prints, the last prints we had, he took them home. And he believes that we can adapt those prints, not buy new ones again, but adapt and maybe have someone draw up a new with a new proposal without going through the expense of starting all over.
Well, that's, yeah, but no, first of all, we need, I haven't seen a floor plan on it, but
That will be under these new business.
so.
I would like.
Be under what?
New business.
New business? Okay, fine. We'll give you a. An office edition, it's already there.
This is just kind of a drawing, kind of the same thing. And Ryan has it. And he suggested we get somebody that can adapt the plans.
Can we keep to the agenda?
Yes, we can keep to the agenda. Okay, planning commission, Lamar application, that should be, the memo should be the cover sheet on that. Way in the bottom. And this was to put a trailer,
Yeah.
special use permit.
Yes, special use.
Okay, you got the floor.
Okay. Lamar special use permit, planning commission has recommended the township board approve the special use permit application from Terry Lamar. 7125 Gillett Road Northwest. Property tax ID 40-004-015-038-20. The affidavit to be given and entered into the register of deeds. And I sent everybody an email with the attachments. Did everybody get a chance to look at that? The planning commission has recommended that the board approve this.
If there's any zoning violations on that, finish the property.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, this has been notarized. So this gets, sent to the register of deeds, or it already has?
It already has.
Uh-huh.
The affidavit that I had the first time that I brought into last meeting, I went to the courthouse and register of deeds would not accept that one because I didn't have all the information. So I did have another one made up, and that's a copy of what you have now of the one that I took to the courthouse. To the register of deeds, yep.
That was the same one you run to the planning commission?
Well,
The first one that had a stamp. I don't have the original, they said they're gonna mail it, they can take up to 2 weeks. But they copied it and stamped it and everything.
Okay,
Oh, I sent this one in to you guys.
so basically, this is a non-division agreement
So this is,
for the property in question that is going into
Yes,
the recorded deed.
is this a copy?
yes, that's a copy. The original one is getting mailed to me, but they said it could take 5 to 7 business days and it has not been 5 to 7 business days.
Can we have this copy or do we have to make a copy?
Well, I'm sorry.
Can we have this copy? Or do we have to make a copy?
Make a copy, that's the only thing I have myself right now.
Okay,
One was
The
sent
planning
in.
commission okayed it, but it needs to be okayed by you before it goes through.
right, before it goes through the process.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
So anything else is.
So that declaration is different than this one.
Yes, one was
So we need a
dropped off
copy of that one.
Monday, so my husband had one dropped off Monday.
Okay, and
Yes.
that's your copy.
Yes, you should have had a copy. But I can make another copy and bring one in. For the minutes. Are you sure? I don't want to. Wait, what is it?
Okay. Now, as I understand this situation, basically, the second dwelling is going on while the first dwelling is being going on and rebuilt.
No.
The first one is not livable. I inherited that property from my dad when he passed away. The original one that's there, yes, it is not livable.
So you're replacing it, basically.
Well, no, it's a planning commission.
Well, you can fix stuff to use it, but it's not livable right now. The walls are falling down and
But
everything.
the plan that you described in the planning commission is that you were going to put in the new house
Yep,
for your
my
brother.
brother. He lived with me with all his
And
kids.
then eventually
Yes.
you were going to fix this one up.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Right.
agree to that.
And that's why this is so that it cannot be split. The property
Yeah.
cannot-
Because there are two residents on
Yeah.
it, no splits. I
Right.
got that. Okay. Any other questions on it?
So I do have a district health department, that was also in your packet, if you wanted to see that.
Okay, so new septic,
It was approved.
where's the well at? Using the existing well?
Yes.
Okay, new septic.
That is,
Down it into the driveway there, Tom. To the west.
Oh, okay, I got it.
That's long.
I was looking for it from this. Okay, this is welcome.
that's what we have checkings basically.
Yeah. Environmental house. I don't see a problem. We need a roll call vote on this to approve it. I need a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the planning commission approval
I'll second it.
request
On the Lamar
for 7125 Gillette Road. Gillette.
and 25 special. Permit. Okay, so I got a motion for Bradley and Child second. Mr. Keys
Yes,
and myself, yes. Mr. Bradley,
Yes,
Ms. Childs.
Yes.
Okay.
okay, we started the review of the township master plan, we started. Comments from the public is heard. Review will continue to next month's meeting. So this is gonna be something that sounds like the planning commission is going to look at every month. We did that one, and then we all know that there was the planning commission secretary sent a memo to the office personnel, with copies made and they were not made. And then the owl was not available to the planning commission the night of the meeting. So who could address those two things?
Copies.
Make sure
Copies of,
extra copies for the public.
oh, okay, oh, you mean for, last night's meeting?
No, for the planning
For the
commission.
regular planning commission meeting? Yeah, evidently, the office staff was, off that day and,
But we just wanted to bring it up to your attention.
right, I spoke with Tina about that this morning.
Okay, and then, the last thing is, there was a citizen complaint. There was a citizen complaint, Article 13, single family, residential district, R1. My recommendation is to have the planning commission look at this ordinance. That would be 13.02, section C, letter F. And I'll read this. Keep it of domestic pets, livestock, and poultry for personal, non-commercial use, provided that the same are maintained and housed so as not to be a public nuisance. We have a complaint that, there's basically somebody's,
Free range
domestic
chickens.
pets are roaming freely into other people's yards. I would just recommend that, we send this, ask the planning commission to take a look at this ordinance for any kind of, changes that might be made.
See if the nuisance ordinance applies. I haven't looked at that in depth either, but I think at the tail end, any complaint that becomes a nuisance complaint is covered under nuisance,
This is,
which is also a police powers ordinance, so.
Yeah, I do believe that falls under that, because I've had a couple already.
Okay, but, yeah, we may want to add some language to the zoning ordinance too.
Yeah.
So this is ordinance 22, and I believe ordinance 20 is nuisance ordinance. Maybe not. Road in public access parks, so might be 19. Ordinance 20. Okay, yeah, see if there any additional language needs to be looked at in that, and all. Avoid language in, the nuisance ordinance. What I was suggesting would be fence them in.
Well, yeah, they should be able to keep to their property.
Okay.
So the board's okay with that?
Yes,
Okay.
I am. Anybody, any objections to them checking this out?
Okay.
A lot of people have free range chickens, ducks. I think it sounds like overdue turkeys. Goats. And I got a couple of goats down the corner from me, so. And they're out and loose every once in a while.
When I read the first one there, it was kind of, no person or business of any kind shall consume or have open alcoholic beverages on. And to me, that was a little confusing, because I thought we discussed that, like at the park, if we want to get ball teams or adult ball teams in. Is there some way they can have their beer and play ball and still be covered? I mean, still not be a problem.
We have an event, a temporary event, liquor permit. The township
Okay.
passed, was it last year, for your events? Okay, so that's already been taken care of. All they have to do is apply, I think it's $50.
So, but I'm talking about, we're trying to get ball, we don't have young people coming to the ball fields. We might have one team. We're trying to get the ball fields used. We've got a manager now, and if what I hear is the adult.
Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Okay.
All right, and the only other thing I had on there was amendment 2, which has been reformatted. So it wasn't in the paper after the last meeting, so we have to reapprove this. So that the time frame of 15 days of publication is met, and this will go in next week's paper. So I would like to propose, once again, that we approve amendment 2 to ordinance 20 concerning alcoholic beverages, at the township's public access site and park.
And now what was
My question is, we're trying to promote the ball fields for adult, male, female, and co-ed. They like to have a beer when they're playing. So isn't there any way we can allow that, and they're responsible, they're in trouble, if they hurt somebody, get drunk or whatever, how can we do that to make that possible?
Alcoholic beverages may be permitted for special events held only at township sites. Sentences right in there. So they apply for township park alcoholic beverage permit for their event or for the league or.
Or if they play every week, if they play every week, how do we do that?
Right, so that would basically come before us.
Okay,
Okay, and we make a decision on whether to waive the fee, make it for the entire season, or have them pay one at a time, 1 week at a time.
I would suggest that they come with their schedule,
Yep,
okay,
and we can say yeah or nay,
And
just
request
one time deal.
okay.
okay, so that answers your question.
That way, the park's not open,
Because we,
anybody's gonna, right here.
because with the manager, he's gonna reach out to people to get our ball fields
Okay.
used, so we wanna.
I got it, so, yeah, tell them it's legal, they just need a permit from the township with the schedule of the events. Okay, motion's on the table.
Are we gonna be held liable if something happens? I decided.
Well, it would just be, it would be like having.
Or we can't hear you. I'm sorry. We can't.
Okay. He wanted, this has already been run through legal. You're talking about, you're talking about,
Yes.
okay, as far as the event permit for alcoholic beverages. So, yeah, we'll check that out, I'll run that. But that's what that was designed for. Okay, so I move basically to approve this again,
I would second that motion.
okay? Roll call vote, Mr. Bradley,
Yes,
Ms. Childs,
Yes,
I'm a yes, Mr. Pease.
Yes.
Okay, done again, and this will go into the paper within 15 days and become effective 30 days after publication. Moving on. Okay, zoning report, Mr. West, how'd your first month go?
Yeah, to start off, thank you again, the board. I've definitely got my hands full, which is a good thing, though. We're gonna start off, a whole lot of people I've already talked to. So I did, Mr. Bradley specifically, I did expect to have a written report for you. I thought it was already taken care of, but it's on my watch now. Since this was supposed to be from the previous zoning administrator, I assure you will get the next one. But, for my clarification, what needs and when the written report?
What's that?
When do you need the written report?
The written report should be submitted.
by Monday morning.
Yeah, actually Monday or Tuesday at the latest.
The
So,
resolution at a prior board pass was 1 week prior to the township.
right,
Well, we'll go by 1 week then, so just for my clarification.
so if we don't see it, we'll readily.
You know where I'm at. I'm trying to spend a lot of time in and out of the office. I don't want regular hours just because I'm trying to get a hold of people. But I try to appear at 10 o'clock in the morning. So generally, most of the board members, or not most of the board, most of the office staff normally sees me then. Progress rise. The photos that were submitted by Ms. Backers, that's priority one for me right now. I've got a draft letter going out to a lot of these people. I do not have my computer yet, which I'm working on that. And so a lot of things that I need, we're getting there. The phones, got the phone issue kind of worked out as well. I've got access to phones on my cell phone coming into the office. But priority one is make contact with these people. I've already driven and talked to a lot of them. A couple people have already made a little bit of progress. A little bit of progress is better than no progress. A lot of them are, like I said, just plain abandoned, so that's my goal right now. That's how I'm attacking this, is letter out and trying to make contact with people and see what we can do. I mentioned in the township cleanup days, so that's a big thing. A lot of people weren't really aware of it. We're thankful that I did.
It's in the paper today.
Excellent, good.
Yeah, it's in the newsletter.
Yeah, excellent. So that's my approach right now. I want to talk to people and see if we can help instead of getting to that point.
Right. Be nice, be nice, be nice.
Well,
Mr. Chairman, I think what's really gonna help is the blight ordinance that just passed. I think that's gonna help, but do a tremendous amount of good.
absolutely. That, I carry that with me, and I did just get a bunch of the ordinances. I do not have one book yet, but I've got a lot of things starting to compile. But yes, I take that with me. That's one of the main things.
Okay, one thing. In your travels, I don't know if you carry a notepad around.
I do,
Okay.
I'm old school.
I'm looking at abandoned vehicles, campers, trailers, and homes, buildings, okay? And if we just can come up with a list, because legally, you would have to take, some legal action to actually. Valley of Dreams is the one thing I would take a bulldozer to that thing in a heartbeat if I could.
That's what I've already started. Address, time of day, or what day, time I come by, any response, who I talk to, photographs, and then, like I said.
Address, and I mean, we can, just by the address, we can look up the parcel and the owners and all that good stuff. But just the list, I mean, it's not like something you would have to turn in every week. But as you go around, when you feel you've got a good package, then dump it on us and we can see what we can do about it.
Can do.
Okay.
They do request body cam. I know maintenance has one. Did the other maintenance supervisor have one?
Did you get that back?
You should have turned it into the office.
Yeah. Okay, they can do a search for it if they can't locate it, because I know, I did ask Mr. Bielski if he turned it in, and I do believe Craig turned his in to you. And I think, John turned his into the office,
I'm not aware.
but they're not expensive.
Oh, I am requesting one.
Okay. Body cam. Yes, that's definite. Okay, so.
Do you have a preference?
I don't. I haven't done any research on them.
Ask Craig what he thinks
Well,
it
what's,
We had to.
I know you had to. How does one work for you?
I work, it works fine, it's a real deterrent, but I don't have the ability to like go into it if somebody on the board.
I'm just saying it works for you and the board. If it works for you,
It works for me, I'm
It works
happy
for
with
the
it,
board.
and it's a deterrent if anything else.
Okay. Yeah, well,
I can do some research to see if there's a smaller version, cheaper version, but
Oh, hopefully we got it.
yeah, we should have one. We'll do an expanding square for that one first.
In your clerk?
I haven't seen it.
Well, it might be in the clerk's locked up with some keys and credit cards, et cetera. Okay, so, body cam, I was gonna write that down. I'll work on that. Okay, is that it?
that's it for now.
The office administrator, I've added her to the agenda. She has, probably some issues.
Oh, yeah. Got you guys, cemetery ornaments,
Oh, God.
I know, but then, you know, when we're talking, you can kind of see what we're talking about. The second page is from MTA. I think, Joanne gave it to me a while ago, but it had some really good questions, information, kind of the gray part between ordinance. So I'll let you guys look at that while I talk. And Craig's gonna probably be talking about some of the same issues. We work daily on all these things. He's my man that comes in and tells me what's going on and then we start working on it. So we've had, a lot of cemetery issues lately. I think there's many reasons why. I think the older people in town are starting to pass away. There's limited space, like it's not free spaces anymore. And, there's been a lot of, things that have done in the past that aren't quite correct. I'm finding more information that they were having problems in 1980 with the cemetery. So we have one critical issue that has come up. I'm still trying to investigate it, try to get everybody involved and see if we can solve it. It's so complicated, I'm not gonna bring it up right now, but it definitely has to be addressed. So the issues are things that are not in the ordinance that come up and get called on. Other ones are changes in the ordinance that need to happen.
So we need to review the cemetery ordinance as well.
Well, it's not just that, there's other things that need to be added to it as times change. I have a guy right now that wants to buy his plots back. I mean, he wants us to buy his plots back from him. He's not the original buyer. They're partially filled.
And he doesn't have the paperwork.
Oh, he has all the credentials, but I think I'm gonna redirect them. You guys last. So,
Get to the problem.
yeah, it's to the problem. But, so he's pretty persistent and I can't figure out, because it's not that much money, but I think what I'm gonna do is just, since he doesn't have a will, he's gotta produce a will to say that he's the rightful heir to the plots. If that's not the case, he's gonna have to go through probate. I went through this with someone else. But this is things I'm trying to figure out on my own. So another guy wants to swap plots. I don't think that's a problem, but I need the board to kind of give me the okay on that. He wants to just pick a different area. Maybe he doesn't want to be next to the person. I mean, he's surprised how much he was gonna say that.
Don't want to be next to your enemy from turn.
Yeah, the one guy came in and he didn't want to be next to his stepmom, because he never liked her.
Okay.
So he makes sure he's not gonna be there. So, all burials, me and Craig decided we need to have a sexton to come in and do all burials. And so we have it done correctly in the right place, and also the cremains. And that brings up another thing we were kind of, me and Mark were looking at the ordinance. How many cremains can go with a body in one single plot? I really.
My parents are stacked one on top of the other.
Yeah, well, I've always had in my head 4, but when I read the ordinance, I don't find it. It says up to have, if you have 1 or 2 items, 4 cremains, you have to have like, yeah, it gets complicated, but we need to look at that and kind of clarify that. And then Craig also brought up, for the indigent citizens, where are these there, in the ordinance, it talks that there's a place for them. They have assigned.
So we have a potter's field.
We don't know where they're located. I've never figured that out. But yeah, we don't know where they're at, so that's good to know.
Okay, so let me interject here. Okay, I did get a hold of Lisa Leahy, who's Five Lake Township on the ground penetrating radar. So I haven't started to check that yet. We need to have the markers done again by farrier. Okay, so all the rods, everything is up above board. You can find it, sex can find it. We should map that cemetery. Okay, because Five Lake found 8 of their graves out
more.
in the
There's
middle
some
of the road.
with the metal detector that you guys approved in March. I went out there to plot, a young man, a young kid who was being, anyway, his service is coming up.
Right.
And while I was there, I just started searching and I found a dozen, and some of them were 4 inches underground. Some of them were this far underground because,
time.
It just not, yeah, the grass goes over it, and we had 2 different ones out there. The aluminum ones are about so big around, But the metal ones are about this big around, this big, and they're a little harder to find.
That's what I mean, if we have fair amount and
Yeah, I totally figured.
we mark, find all those marks. So that we know, this is a plot. Okay, period, because
Well,
that's
and-
why it's surveyed.
And then there is, go ahead. And there has to be some process that I've been trying to get, when the funeral homes call me up, I'm not getting transport, certificates. So if they transport a body, we should be receiving something saying that it's buried some cemetery. Haven't been seeing them come through. And the one situation I'm talking about that's critical that we gotta solve, I went to look at our cemetery book. That wasn't written in there, that person we're having a problem with. So we need someone to go out there and look at every single grave and make sure that it's written in that book.
We are, since we have the BSNA program for our cemetery, that's the next thing that my deputy right now and I are doing, Dee and I are gonna do.
Go out there
And I
and
talked
look
to
at
Craig,
one.
we're gonna go, Craig's got the metal detector now. I went out and tried to find what has happened over the years, everything's in a book. And you can't always read the handwriting, but if you get the number, you can go look and maybe see it on a gravestone. So it's gonna take some time. This week I went to Farrier because we weren't getting, I'd called them. I think Tom had called, you'd called, and so I went there. Did you go to?
Calling this, he had
Okay.
my calls.
But I went to him and I actually talked to him face to face, and he said 20 years or so, it was an agreement that he was going to keep up on the cemetery. But it's not going anywhere. So I said, would you come out and mark these things and set us up? I think most of it is in the far east, the south, the northeast, the new cemeteries where we really need the marks, right? The markers on the other places are just buried.
It's a cemetery-wide issue, but because all our open areas right now and the new plots being purchased, and a lot of times they're being purchased shortly before a service. And that's because it's happening in the new section. That's where we're having issues right now. We haven't had much issue in the older sections, but we haven't had many burials over there. But that's where I was finding the little tiny markers, of near where your father is.
And the ground radar would reveal if we have a potter's field somewhere that we don't know about.
Yeah. So, and then I had a lady call the other day and she wanted to put a bench in. So that was a question I had. And, it says that there's no, I think in the ordinance it says no more than one, monument, stone. I was thinking maybe not allowing any more benches unless it's memorial in itself and it's about, kind of need the same dimensions as a headstone.
How much of a problem they are maintenance wise? And is this like a 300-pounder or?
According to our ordinance, anything that inhibits the free mowing is not prohibited or is prohibited. The problem being that, MTA says that if we change the ordinance tonight, just say, any benches that are there stay, they have to stay, their grandfather did. We either, a lot of these they're being put either at the very end of their plot, which does not allow for mowing in between.
Yeah.
And then I have to either hand do it or leave it and get the complaints that we're not taking care of the cemetery. We have some out there that are wood, we have some that are metal, we have some that are concrete. Personally, I don't care if we have benches, but they need to be, like she said, they need to be the memorial. Or.
Okay, yeah, so what you're saying is you have a monument, which is a headstone, and a memorial, which is a bench.
There's two different.
They're two different things.
Yeah, but it doesn't really specify the benches and then I can see it if you guys can find it.
Actually, what our ordinance says is one monument, marker, or memorial per burial space. That's all.
Or, it says or, not and.
Yeah, not and or. so they can have one north of other. But again, people just, I'll be mowing along and all of a sudden here's a bench that wasn't there a week before. Or here's a big cement flower pot that wasn't there a week before.
So, I'm gonna try to keep moving. So basically, one of the reasons I came up and brought all these things up, this is driving me a little crazy. And I need the board to go. I went to the clerk thinking that she is like kind of one that's gonna decide it, and she really doesn't know about cemeteries. So we looked in the MTA information, and we found out what the duties of the clerk are. So I think the board itself has to take an active, role. And we have to have someone that when people call, or we have some major things we can't figure out, except that we have a person in the board or a few people that we can come to and say, we need help.
Okay.
So that's my suggestion. I also would suggest increasing the price a little bit of the plots. We're really, really low. I mean, really, really low in price, and that will help pay for other things you want to do in the future. And you brought this up, I'm not gonna take it, it's called a scattered garden for cremains. I think that would be a really lovely thing, maybe you put the benches there, people wanna put benches somewhere. And I think that'd be a beautiful place for people to go, myself. I have my mom buried in a garden, in a church garden. And I always wanna go there and just kind of sit. And then they just pulled up stones. They had stones down and they just took a stone and put the ashes under the stones in the pathway. It was really nice. So I also, going to another subject, I'm done with the cemetery now. I finished my classes, FOIA, and I took the last class and I am ready to go.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be independent on that.
And, I'm going to next week, get a hold of Centaurus. We're gonna set that FOIA computer up with the scanner and the printer, okay, and get the basic software up and running so we can start. And,
So if they're coming here anyhow, we need to also work on the bridge, and call the tunnel, or so I can unlock these doors.
basically, it's an air-to-air antenna system that helps you do it. Well, you can program that lock from your laptop or your phone.
Okay, so Terrace, I've been asking him about doing a bridge, or, so when he comes out, we'll put our heads together and see what he suggests. So I've had to kind of get with the Spectrum and Terrace to kind of coordinate that. So we're working on it, but it's not there yet, so we'll get it done. And then I will be purchasing a redacting app, but I'm not gonna do it until I need it. I'm not gonna order it now or get it loaded up on my computer until I get a FOIA that I need it for.
Or redacted, right?
Yeah, it's an app, it's Adobe. And it actually goes in there, because otherwise I have to print it all out, do it by hand, and then reprint it. And then, yeah, and it does it all for you. And you need to get a program with the AI that does it. So I worry about it when it has to do it.
So your cemetery notes, could you make a copy of those and give them to her?
Yeah, I'm gonna update my notes,
So, he has something to work with and let them, basically overhaul the cemetery ordinance.
Okay, and then, I had talked to you the other day, I just wanna bring it up. When taxes are due, just about a week before taxes, I mean, so many people coming in, and I'm not able to do my other jobs. So I did have your wife offer to help me. Joanne does come in, but I need someone that week, 1 to 2 hours. She comes in like 3 days. I'm not sure how they pick the days, but that week before taxes, I'll have 3 people in line. And then before I know it's 2 o'clock and I haven't done any of my work. So I just need a little help, and if I'm doing fine, get my work done, I'll let them go, but just keep busting that.
Yeah, call Carol.
Yeah, it just gets kind of crazy. I've been working with Joanne, we still gotta get the BSA program for taxes into her new computer. The computer she had wouldn't upload it, so she needs to bring in her new computer and I'll get her going on that.
I'm pretty independent with that,
Did you figure out what the Geek Squad bill was?
not yet, I'm gonna leave that to Monday,
Cause it looked legit, that's why.
a lot of money.
I got
was
one of
thinking
those
maybe
too, I
something
think
to
it's,
do with
I think
zoning.
everybody gets.
I think it's a scam.
But it seems like.
It was
more
a-
renewal type thing,
Renewal of North Security.
but it's expensive renewal, very expensive.
Well, that might cover all of our laptops, I don't know.
Well, maybe, yeah. I've been told by expert, cyber attack expert, they really don't need all those extra ones, that Microsoft is sufficient. He works for Lansing.
Yeah.
The government. So at the new website, at the last board meeting, the treasurer brought up that the land use permits and the rental payment be paid online. They cannot, that hasn't happened yet. We need to work on that. That's in process. And I think we might have to get another app for the rentals. But we're gonna keep working. I'm not worried about it right now. We need to find a working process to do that.
Okay, so online payments are a problem, other than taxes.
Other than
In
taxes
other words,
only.
yeah, you want, land use permits, and,
Oh,
your
yeah.
rentals.
Yeah, and yeah, even, yeah, I can.
Okay.
and we can get a credit card reader for the office, so you can take credit cards.
So I'm open for feedback on the new website. When I brought the website up with help of Margaret, it was very tough because there was a lot of things that I didn't have, information that I didn't have, but we got through it. I prayed the next day it was gonna come up. And, there's some problems with the website. And Tina, I talked to Tina Fields today, and she said she will help me down the line. And, we can decide if that might be
Yeah.
in the website.
Let me ask the public. The carousel that was on the old website, the windows, the slideshow. How useful was that to people? Because I would like to see it on a new website for events and meeting announcements, et cetera. And it's, basically a special.
Well, you have to go all the way down on the first page, which I'm,
Right.
most people, I don't go down every page and at the bottom.
But I know, I used to get complaints when something didn't show up on the slide.
So what I did today or yesterday, I put in just on that front page, right there in the middle of the page, about the cleanup day.
Yeah.
Just type
So
it in.
it's still usable space, is what I'm
Right.
saying, on the home page, so you don't have to go looking for something.
But that's been a learning curve too for me, that website, trying to set that up and everything. And then rentals, oh boy, rentals are another issue, and it seems to be, I've talked to Craig, in his opinion, is the larger parties in the gym that I really have major problems with. And we're getting significant scratches on the new gym floor from different things. So I have made an executive decision that no outdoor sports practice is gonna be allowed, because we've had so many damages. Holes in the wall, holes in the sink, scratches on the floor. And even with the parties, I think they're dragging the tables and scratching, putting big scratches in the tables, coming in with dirty shoes, things like that.
Well, that's, part of that is elections. Part of that is spaghetti dinners.
Oh, and it is just like, we've had a lot of, celebration of lives. We even had a wedding.
Birthday parties, Halloween parties.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing about it is they have to clean their shoes off before they get on that floor, and I don't think that's.
That there would be another reason for a multi-purpose room, larger than this, smaller than the gym.
So you guys are all right with me telling people no outdoor sports practice
Mhm.
in there? And I'm worried about the sound panels too, because I've seen them hit those and they're gonna get knocked off.
Yeah.
So it's just been a.
Yeah, as far as you're talking about baseball practice and.
Well, there's polo, and we had a softball, and I made it very clear,
Yeah.
use the hard ball, all this.
That's how that's.
Well, what they did was, they had plastic knee pads, and they were drawing to the picture, and they were like, going like this, and
Oh,
scratching the floor.
No.
So,
No.
She tried to get back in, no, I won't have to do that, I'm like, no, it's done. We're all done. And me and Craig talked about maybe reinstating like a security deposit. I have pros and cons, I think a security deposit is a neat idea, because then if they don't clean it like they should, they're not gonna get their deposit back. But not all of it back, I mean, or part of it back. But also if you do a cleaning fee, then they're not gonna clean it all. We have consecutive sessions coming in. You're gonna have someone come in after each session if you do a deposit. And if you do a cleaning fee, maybe you can get someone to come in after each section and just clean for the next one. Something to think about.
Maybe it could be just the damaged floor versus cleaning fee. When you find the damaged floor, then you charge them.
Yeah, but they are expected to clean that.
Yeah.
Perfectly. I'll tell you some stories.
No, I don't.
So it's like we had a wedding and there was glitter, right? All over the floor, little glitter. So I had
Sprinkles.
sprinkles. So I had the pickleball players coming in sliding everywhere. Or you get sticky drinks all over the floor and they're sticking to the floor.
Right.
So,
We got it.
yeah, those things are fun. And then we were questioning maybe we should do a higher price for larger parties. Yeah,
For what?
a higher price for larger parties.
Yeah.
I really don't have a problem over here too much. It's the larger, big things that they're doing over there, and I think what happens at the end of the day, they're tired, and I think they just tired of cleaning, because it's a job, it takes 2 hours to clean that floor and do everything right. So those are things to talk about. And, so my next subject is spectrum, lovely spectrum. So our phones in the office are all set up now. We all got new numbers. I will do all the new numbers. It dials in, so if anybody wants to call in, you can call the old number. That's my number. And then I'll give you, a variety of options at that point. So they were gonna change their number. I'm like, no. So we worked on that and got that changed. Cause that would mean we had to change all our bills, everything. All our business cards. I'm like, why don't you people think we would want our number changed? Then they were talking about doing something with the fax. I really didn't understand what they're saying, so there is still gonna be a charge. I wanna keep the landline for the fax for now until we can switch it over, and I'll work with them. Because they were saying something about we would have to fax to our computers to send things, so you couldn't go right to the thing.
So you
and
just
fax it. Yeah.
scan it with computer.
Right,
Right now, the scanner I use scans to an email, so just plug in the email address. And do
Yeah.
it that way, so the fax line is kind of a dinosaur.
and
Except
So-
government.
yeah, the government.
I mean, all kinds of government things, you have to fax. That is-
Yes, and I just did that yesterday.
Okay,
For the new hire, we have to fax everything to
Okay.
them. So I will talk to Spectrum more and see if I can get a better handle on it, but with what they were doing and everything, I don't trust them. I thought they were gonna leave us without a fax, so I said, no, let's wait. Okay, and let's see, down here. So what they've been doing is we're still getting, put in collections for equipment not returned. They don't tell us what needs to be returned. They don't tell us when they come in and put the new system that we need to return it. And when I called them up, the fire chief can tell me, asked him to give me the serial number for the equipment to be removed, he went up in the ceiling, and it was the new equipment they put.
well, the last time we talked to Jamarcus, okay, he was supposed to send somebody out here to look at all the equipment and take back. what-
No, that never happened.
That never been different.
Not really. So what happened with the address of the firehouse is coming on the bills. It's still wrong. I think we should try to change that 5 times. I saw one invoice come in with the right address, and the next time it came in wrong here. So I worked on that, and I went into a complete circle, and everybody told me they couldn't do it. I finally called the project manager, and he said that it had something to do with the orders that they've written, and it really didn't make any difference.
on the building itself, as long as they had the right address on it. Don't understand that, but.
And they changed the address to Heritage Park. And it's wrong.
They showed up at the fire department and I said, all this thing is mounted in the ceiling, and the guy says, I'm not authorized to work off a ladder.
Yeah, yeah.
Ain't this fun?
So we have had two incidents with the equipment being left and being put in collections, and I get the calls in the office. Running minutes for more, and I tell the clerk not to pay the bills, I'm just gonna keep working on it. So they just finished this one, they said, this is complete, now I hear you're having problems tonight. Improved?
Broadband.
Yeah, the broadband's breaking up.
Okay, I'll put that down.
The stream is interrupted.
That's not even lit tonight.
Yeah, I don't think it's on.
Because they put in a switch for you guys.
Is there online?
So what I'm expecting to happen is whatever's done here, and they've taken other things out, they took the phone out. I know that there's no data phone on that. I'm gonna get another collections on here, something's gonna be left. I'm just waiting for that. So I'm just letting you know. And just to let you know, I've talked to the project manager, the sales rep, Stanley, that they have very poor service over and over and over again, and I give them samples. And some even admit this is the way they are.
Family started communications.
Yeah,
Phone lines for that, you call them up.
so
We have in 3 days.
I think I've gotten to the point with them, I'm gonna wait, try to work with the project manager again and see if I don't get anywhere, I'm gonna escalate. Just keep escalating, there's an escalating list that Stanley sent me, that I can keep calling it, and it gets escalated until it gets right up to the top. So what I did was, you sent me a review one time. I sent that review back, and Jamarcus, the program manager, called me on Monday morning, he said, my email lit up with that response that you gave. But now he's not answering the call. No. The fire station looks like they're complete, we still gotta work on getting their phone in. Just to let you know, the phone system, we in the office, pretty much, Margaret can assess this, we had to set up all the phones ourselves. We had to deal with somebody that was teaching us that wasn't very good at teaching over a Zoom call. And he gave us some instructions that were very, very basic, and we went on the internet and found much more detailed process that we can follow. Let's see where, and then also the fire station needs to have cameras still put in. I know you have requested one inside. And I still think that they're working on doing something else with it. So the fire station is not completed. I think everything else is completed other than the problems.
And those calls go, those alerts, when the cameras send out an alert, they go to you?
No, I don't get an alert. You got the alert. I didn't get, you're the manager of that.
Okay,
Yeah,
and there's
it's an
nothing
alert.
on this phone, there was nothing on my phone, so.
Oh, okay. So, but I went in there today. Well, actually yesterday, I had to get in there for something else. And it's still saying that there's a problem, even though I called Mohammed, our contact, and he said there's no problem, but there's still.
I know, I keep getting that same
You still getting it?
email over and over again.
Oh, no, he said you were.
Every other day.
Okay, I'm calling about that then. So Mohammed will hear it again one day. So the thing with the dashboard too, is I know everybody's got busy life, but we need to have many more people proficient. I'd like to see some super users on that, because for the safety of our community, I think it makes sense to have someone that's really good at it, can get in there and get the right information. We paid a lot of money for it. Let's use it to the maximum of what it can do. And it's beyond my realm of how to do that. I got in there the other day and I was really proud of myself. As far as I know, only me and the clerk have access
That's
to
the
get in.
dashboard system for the security.
It includes everything.
Yeah,
It
okay.
includes the phones. You can tell when the phones are not functioning,
Okay.
because it's all through the internet. The phones, you don't plug the phone in and charge it and put it to the main line, it's
Right.
plugged into the internet. So you can see where things are going
Right.
on. And, you know, if I have more time, sometime I'll.
Well, we set up that other computer in the zoning office for the FOIA and archives.
Yeah.
Or
So I,
get them over there.
and I know you gotta, I asked DeMarcus to reach out to all the people that I had listed. I know Greg had some training, but we need more people who are can get in there, get the training. So I would recommend you guys
At
do
the
that.
time,
Yeah,
you know.
it's a little maddening because, you know, I'm taking out a lot.
Okay,
Between the website and the phone, and yes, this is.
anything else on Spectrum?
Oh, I did ask them if they would send us a bill once, all the things are done.
Oh, yeah.
See what our total,
Back the bill, so we get one instead of four.
not combine them, but at least know what we're paying.
Yeah,
I think the heritage part is gonna be very high. From what I can see already, it's gonna be a high price. Cause all the cameras, you got internet, you got a phone,
yeah.
things like that.
It would be nice for Centerra's too, the different ones, because you're getting random bills in that, and I asked Christine, how much are we paying? Do we have an itemized bill for all of this, or we just keep getting bills?
Well, Centerra's is, you know, when I get hold of them, they're very helpful, they get in, but their response time is not great. It takes too long, you know, when I'm doing stuff and I gotta get it done. I can't wait to get early.
Angie's done an awesome job, she is way overwhelmed, I'd love to see somebody take on some of that for her.
Well, I think I do, I mean, I think probably maybe I took on too much just because I'm a person that sees something needs to be done and it's not being done. So I just, I'm a problem solver and I get in there and start doing
The thing
it.
is, we have multiple problems all at the same time.
And all that new equipment coming in and not being familiar with it, it's a learning curve for me.
Was it, wasn't he supposed to be in contact for Spectrum?
I got tired of them.
Is that right?
It might take a meal.
They got tired calling me, and I said, you know. They would call and say, this is when you have to be there, and I said, no, this is when you have to be there. You know, it has to be a two-way street, you know. They wanted me at the fire hall one night at 10 o'clock at night.
There are 3 bureaucrats in a project for an appointment, plus the contract.
Yep.
So if you have a failure anywhere up here, the contractor gets here and, well, the equipment's not here, or I'm at the wrong address, I can't do this, or.
I just want to let you know that I do like my job, I do like people I work with, but I am limited on the amount of hours I can work and collect social security. So in that respect, I have to keep my hours down. And be kind of.
It should get better with time.
It should.
All we have to do is solve some problems.
But it always seems like there's another problem because I got people walking in the door or a phone call.
Listen, are you finished?
Yeah.
I would, back to the cemetery, I found out there has been a cemetery committee before. Grace told me that she got one formed. Craig and I have talked. I am for forming a cemetery committee that will take a lot of this off the hands. When we get the BSNA program up and we can deal with, instead of it all coming to the board and the board has to hear it all. If we can come to a solution in a committee and bring it to the board, if it takes a vote, I think that would do the work in the committee. I think it'd be a real good job.
Well,
My thought.
and the board, if the board designates, approves somebody to head a committee,
Mhm,
then they don't need the board every time there's a decision to be made.
mhm.
It can just be made. And, I would be on that committee, that would,
Of
because first off, it makes sense. And
You need a maintenance,
Joanne, and then if someone else, whether it was an employee or just regular a resident. But I saw a letter dated 1980 that was talking about trying to get the cemetery straightened out.
Did you say you're gonna pass the cemetery issue on to the planning commission?
basically, I look at the ordinance.
The ordinance,
Okay.
and so it would probably be good if you joined us and helped.
Well, and the other thing would be, if you're gonna have a cemetery committee,
Yeah.
it should be in the ordinance,
Yeah.
okay?
So it would be.
I don't believe it's in the ordinance. Okay, cause I've only read it when I needed to. Okay, but I mean, the first time I read it, it was, well, okay, this is how they're in the cemetery. Then you have a problem. Okay, now you're looking at the ordinance, say, well, this doesn't really resolve anything. All right, so, yeah, but let's put the cemetery committee, on the May agenda.
Okay.
With all that technology, and I know Andy's doing an amazing job, we still have a site we paid thousands for that should be hooked up to this with messages and computers and stuff. And still, it's not on 3 or 4 years.
You got an in with Consumers Power?
That's where we
Because
are.
I've got about 8 emails and 6 phone messages into the project manager there that I haven't heard from in 2 months. Trying to get that power hooked up so that Morrison can go out with the sun. That's all it needs. They need to move that meter base 2 feet. 2 feet. Okay, yeah, it's a sore spot with me. I'm sorry.
Did
I
we not,
apologize for the tone, but yes, it is being, in fact, I addressed it yesterday and a week ago.
did we not put the sign where it was supposed to be, so we have to move something else closer? Is that
No,
what it is?
there's nothing, I got.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's get into it. Okay, where are you? Oh, I know.
Can we stick to the agenda?
Yeah, try that. Okay, where are we at here? Maintenance. All right, maintenance, yeah, we got several things there. What, does anybody want to take a break?
Yes, I want a 5-minute break.
5-minute break, doesn't matter. Okay, we will recess and I got, 9:04. And reconvene at 9:15. Or thereabouts. Public safety committee, we don't have a forum, so it's okay. Thank you. Yeah, I got work in the morning. Regular schedule. One thing I didn't completely make this was, and you got a picture of it. No, but you guys. Yeah, the whole guts of it, going on the over here. I came in. So it screws in, so in fact that shouldn't have been able to fall. But we looked at the camera, there was no sign of anybody tampering with it. Don't have any idea, but what we ended up doing is cover, but I called the sheriff's department. He came and took pictures and reported. And if anything that we went through the whole building, there was damage, nothing stolen, that we could see, not a lot of value, you know, the grab and runway. And then Northwest, who is the contractor for EPS, came out on Tuesday morning, Tuesday, you know, sometime in the morning. And they redid the lock and put a different close on it so that when you let go of the door, it actually closes completely. Because we were having an issue with it wouldn't close, so whether it's locked or not, it didn't matter. But the other day, when I was trying to put the refrigerator, that was not, I didn't even think of that. But that's fixed, I should be getting it built pretty soon, but I didn't know, like I said, I got the pictures. I had tried to make some calls, but it was early Saturday morning, and I know that everybody's schedule was different. But I didn't leave it off purposely.
should have been on. And if you want, I will mention it, if not.
I just don't want to start about That's not the duty there. So I guess. Okay. Then I'll, my daughter just texted me and said she's going to bed. But I'm ready to look ready. We went outside, I would see what. I don't see And we don't know. It's okay, nice. Yeah, I'm good. You just like I never heard anything, so it's like.
But you know what, a lot of times. It's kind of a recipe here, thought, something weird. Until there's property owner. Somebody might be, your area, show up and like, they want to use this. Project. Somebody there. We almost do
this. Yeah.
Yeah, we only.
All right.
It's not driven by state property where tax law. Been to the programs in multiple states. Few and far between. They have actually, they don't know what they're doing. One company outreach opportunity.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know. And show up. Great to see you again. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of your time. Anybody want? It's been a treasure for a number of small organizations.
Well, I like do it.
Yeah.
Do it and we'll help them to get good. It's really, really. It's a good goal.
Yeah, no, we haven't. Yeah. So.
She's just amazing.
Somebody said it was good, but.
Because like something you buy one.
Yeah, that is.
Because,
Yes, I go by.
Yeah.
Like that.
But she's not right now, she's not there. She graduated from Michigan State, not Michigan State, Ferris.
Oh.
Construction management.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm graduating. She has a thing right now, Justin, that she's been, she wants to be. She's still right out.
A lot of that's just have the right computer. For grants and.
The one day, she's taking them out of the house. Oh, that makes you
I mean, I don't have, my wife and I do it once in a while. Two of us are working. We've got friends that are responsibility. And I told him he needs girls. It's like.
Very hard game.
When I was doing that, I told him, well, they electric, well, here, and then she.
And we've got one thing since the first, I posted it on.
Let's say, I think the back, property back. Yeah, everybody needs to have. Exactly. I know it's a big one. Which is why you need the office.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I understand from, I got to law school last night to adjust, and sometimes it's tough for them to try and. Like they're trying to do what's right in their ears. None of the decision.
Let's get back at this.
Thank you.
16. Okay. Brittany, that's Craig. Okay, maintenance.
Okay, since the March meeting, we had a call service at ours. It's sitting in one lawn ready for the next phone call. We picked up the lawn system from Ferguson, used it 4 or 5 times now. I just did the Township Hall yard or lawn this morning.
That's this guy.
Works great. Probably cut, and I would say 2/3 is a conservative estimate for picking up the dead grass from the ball fields and stuff. It was amazingly how, you know, in the years past, we go hand more with them and then just roll over, pick it up. No,
Nice.
it worked great. We used the old sideboards from the sideboards from the old ice skating rink to put sides on the trailer so that we weren't losing stuff as we roll down the road with it. We are preparing for the cleanup day, and other than some typical last minute stuff, we're pretty much ready, I think. Other than getting an exact, one of the last minute details is when things are gonna actually start being delivered. Thursday to Friday, we just got to be.
Okay, this is for what now?
For the dumpsters, trailer tire, or the tire trailer and whatnot. We do have a list of some acceptable and non-acceptable items somewhere. I may not be able to find it. My only issue was, I probably have it somewhere there.
It's on the back side, you want mine?
It's on the back side of this.
On mine it is.
Well, and my only issue, oh, here it is we accepted all this stuff before, the acceptable things. And, they were, Angie looked it up and said that we charge quite a bit for like box springs and mattresses. And I know that's the going rate at the transfer stations. But my fear is that if we charge very much, that we'll find them on the side of the road. We found a lot of couches last year. After cleanup, we went around and we probably picked up 5 or 6 couches last year that people just dumped on the side of the road.
I didn't think we were charging for anything but tires last.
I didn't think so either, but I don't know, because I wasn't involved in that end. And I had, when Margaret we were going over this list, and they were saying that it was like $25 for a mattress, which is the going rate at a transfer station, but we're not a transfer station.
I know.
And a nominal fee of, if we charge at all, it should be something people can afford. Especially in this economy, I'd rather have them turn it in and not pick it up on the side of the road at the week after cleaning.
So if we charge $5 for a piece of furniture or a box frame.
Well, and then where, at what point do you decide what furniture is $5 and what furniture goes for free? Personally, I would like, because it's a lot less hassle, I'd like to just see us take them.
No, then.
We're gonna pick them up anyway. We are, if they can't afford it.
I know that.
We're gonna pick them up anyway.
I know that.
Obviously, the not accepted things are on the same list, but we just kind of went over it to see what was there, what wasn't there, and the biggest thing I could see was the cost on the box springs, mattresses and whatnot.
No, the only thing I was gonna say, if we're gonna be picking up anything from anybody, we charge like a bucket tire for tires.
Well, and Margaret and I had discussed that if you are, and we didn't know what age to put on it, where people would start to be insulted or whatever, say if you're 70 or 75.
If somebody requested what I did last year, I went out and looked.
Well, and we got to the point where a couple of times we showed up places where there were kids hanging around with trucks in the driveway. They didn't need us, they just called us because it was available. And what we had discussed is that if you call us because you're 70, 75, or you have a handicap placard, if you call us and we show up and you're not, you shouldn't be qualified to have that for us to do that, there should be a service fee. that you either pay us, we'll take it away, or we leave it alone. But we can, there, at some point, like I said, we showed up in multiple places where the people had ample, they could have done it themselves.
Well, the first thing, do we have any volunteers to do that this year?
I don't think so, at this point.
Okay.
No.
Because if you're gonna advertise that you'll pick up for handicap or the elderly, okay, or for items that are too large to move and they don't have any.
And you sent maintenance, but maintenance was sent out a couple of times, a couple of years, and it stops all the work in the township.
Yeah, I know.
But we're also involved with the cleanup anyway. But again, we found, multiple times where we showed up where either they didn't really need somebody to come get it, or they said, yeah, that's back there in the woods.
Oh.
And it's like, I'm not going back to the woods to pull out your junk.
It's gotta be at.
Yeah, it has to be at the curbside.
Yeah, well, that's what I told them. I said, it has to be at the curb. We wouldn't pick it up.
And the only people we took it out of there, people who were disabled, older people who actually were disabled, could not get it out of their house.
Right.
We went ahead and took it out. And I don't mind helping that. I don't mind if you guys send me out there for that. But I don't have anybody to help me. And there's a lot of that stuff that I just can't do by myself.
So you have to have this resolved by next week, so I can get it in the paper with the list. And, the one thing on there that should be for unacceptable is no propane tanks whatsoever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't care.
that was the cause of the truck fire last year.
What was it?
They crushed the propane.
Propane tanks,
Oh, dear.
like the one they crushed in the garbage disposal.
Yeah, the garbage truck started with fire, again, companies.
They called it 44.
That ended up being a couple hours problem.
So I see we got $5, was a suggestion, box springs, furniture, mattresses. That's pretty low.
I don't,
What is, if we pick it up for 23, how low is that?
we shouldn't,
I'm not talking about this.
listen, we shouldn't be charging anything.
It's gonna
No, and that's what I'm saying, we're going to pick it up for free on the side of the road if somebody decides that that's too much, because we already have, in years past.
Okay, so let's not worry about it.
I would say,
Yeah.
we don't charge for anything and we don't go pick anything up at somebody's residence unless they can prove
And-
actual hardship.
And it says tires limit 10, but I talked to Mark Randolph, they will take whatever tires come in.
They will, but his recommendation was that we limit it to 10.
Yeah,
Yeah, cause you got some people bring a whole semi.
well,
I figured if we didn't put a limit, but we didn't say you can only bring this many. Just don't put any number, and that would allow people to bring what they have.
okay, I had a conversation with Shreese about that place that she got next to Freedom West. I know, I counted 350 tires out there. I
Yeah,
said, we'll probably limit them to 10, per. Yeah, she says, I've got 5 or 6 properties, I can bring 60 tires in.
The
One for
person
each
that
parcel.
owns that,
One for each parcel. Right, so I'm sitting there thinking, well, that's logical,
that's true, that's true. But Mark recommended we limit it to 10.
yeah,
And again, like you say, if you legitimately have 4 properties, you could really get rid of 40 tires.
there's also this summer in Calcasas, there's gonna be another tire pickup.
and the other thing is, if we don't fill up those 2 trailers. Okay, we can also put the word out to people that have extra tires and, okay, we need to do something. If you can get them here, get them here.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, KSS, the flow machine, they could not fix it, the machine was so old, there was no parts availability. They returned it to us at our doorstep at 6 in the morning the other day.
it's, it goes in the scrapyard.
We went out and looked at some different machines. And, you have a couple of their items, or their specs here, and some of them are a little ridiculous. I don't think we need one that drives itself. They also
Well, your preferences was the one on the backside of it.
the ones on the backside are, the one on top of the backside is pretty much what we have.
No, what I've got from, I printed their, email and this, you got the twin scrubber
It's, the SC 20 TD on the back side of those. And it also is.
No, we must be working off a different,
Up on the back side. Yeah,
oh, okay, you got a different handout than I do.
the one that's on top that, they're great, that's what we, pretty much what we have now, that's just the updated version. It's 342 pounds, it's kind of a bear, even for me to get it in and out of the doorways, because I don't believe you can leave it out in the gym for it to be played with during all the people in and out. We already have issues with the things that are out. This one on the bottom is a bit more expensive. It looks like almost like a buffer.
Yeah.
And, when I was at KSS, the, Jennifer, who runs their front desk coordinator, she went out, got it and brought it out. She uses it 3 times a week to clean their floors. She does it. So this is, 78 pounds, very easy to store, takes up very little room, and can be operated by, and I'm gonna say this with all due respect, she's late 50s, early 60s. Anybody can pretty much operate this to clean the floor. There, you know, I mean, obviously, we're all gonna not be here someday. And at some point, someone else will need to, you know what I mean? And if they don't, I'm just telling you, I've got the machine in the garage over here. If somebody wants to try to run it to get it through the doorway, back into the maintenance room, or we used to leave it in the zoning office. It's not quite, it's not very easy.
350 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so your preference is?
The preference is, the one on the bottom, because of the ease of use, the ease of storage, and,
Well, there's a big difference between the solution tank and the recovery tank.
well, yeah, but because we have the sink and everything right there, that's not an issue to refill it or to dump it. I already changed the water several
Yeah,
times.
the thing about it is that's the only floor we use, so.
Yeah, that'll be the only thing we use.
How much water do you go through when you do the floor?
I'm sorry.
How much water solution do you go through?
I don't know.
He had no idea.
Because the old one never picked it up.
Uh,
And so what I would do is use it and then find out that I was having to mop up a lot of water behind it. I don't see, being the size of the gym, it's a single, what they call a single gym. And having to refill it or empty it more than once. The final decision obviously is up to you. And, but the ease of use in that would help someone down the road from us, from you.
Did you actually, were you able to use that one?
The old one?
No.
Or this one? No, I couldn't run it over there.
And how big area was she doing?
Pretty close to the side yard gym. It's a stone tile floor, but it's still a good sized floor, and she said she easily uses it. It was their, you know, the company one that they use, so. But as far as, and we're limited also to, on a couple of them. I think the ones on the front page, you know, used to us between, like I said, they're 400, 350, 400 pounds, to try to muscle through a 36-inch door, but they're, 30 inches wide with the squeegee, which is the widest part of the machine.
Well, this one on the bottom is a handheld, it's basically like a old time buffer. Yeah, So that's what basically what it.
And it's what they call pad drive, and the pad kind of pulls it along.
Okay.
You, I do know there's a significant difference in the pricing from what we had to that one. And, I actually thought it would be cheaper when they first started.
Yeah.
Use what it felt. And,
Is there any chance that we can, do they have like can they demonstrate?
I wondered if we could, in fact, I either mentioned it to Margaret or Angie, that I wonder if we could get a demonstration, even if I have to go back over to the showroom. I thought if they, would give some kind of a demonstration on it,
Okay, well, it's not something that we have to have tomorrow.
No.
Okay, so if you can set up a demonstration over here, if the hall went out. Or, actually go operate.
We probably will have to go out there.
And operate.
Yeah, it's just out between Chum's Corners and, just before, West Silver Road.
Okay.
The other question I would have, do they have a lease on?
Well, we got money in the capital.
Well, my point is, there's different, if you buy one and you find out it's not the one you would have wanted, if it's a leased one, then you could, go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another thing.
You're not stuck
But
with
yeah,
this for 20 years.
Either go down there or set up an appointment, and, tell her you wanna try that thing out. And, see how it works.
Yeah, I will call Jennifer and ask her if we can set something up, and, if somebody wants to go along, we can schedule it for the time when somebody else is available, or just want me to go out and.
You wanna go out there with him, Greg?
Not me,
Right.
fishing season.
Would they bring it?
Well, I'm glad
He never intends to run that thing.
I can, set up an appointment, and just let me know what it is.
Just let us know when it is.
I can make it.
All right, now, the one on, because I did operate that, it just didn't work correctly. I know that's a bit of a muscle job. The biggest thing is, how does this other one work?
Yeah.
And like I said, the one there at the top, the bigger one, the machine like we had, it was kind of a barrier to get in and out of the doorways to put it away.
We're just, when you talk to them, just tell them we wanna come out and, sample this. We wanna test it.
Okay, yeah, sure, I'll call
And
it.
then just let me know when.
All right,
Just give me a couple days,
yeah, we'll get a couple days.
but that's a lot of money.
Okay, the other.
Oh, yeah, that's not, thank you, Margaret.
Yeah.
These prices are not government prices.
Yeah.
Those are retail to the public.
Okay, all right. 15%. Yeah, just let me know.
Okay. Okay, and, make the report, okay, with the new tires for the Ram will be installed tomorrow.
Okay, one item of interest that I have a voice vote on, I think we allowed up to $1,500 for the tires.
I believe that came in at
Yeah,
15.
it's 1544.43.
Yes.
So I move to approve the extra $44.43. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, on voice vote only, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
We'll have them installed tomorrow.
I just do have one question for maintenance. I went down to the park, I don't know, the other day, and I noticed, as you're pulling into the park, it really needs to be graded again. So I don't know what the schedule is, but just keep that in mind that.
Well,
it's been pretty rough down.
Is that Heritage?
The back blade doesn't work so well on the old tractor, but we do have the box blade on the new tractor.
Yeah.
And I was listening to, Eric, and he said that the tractor stored at the barn, and we did that for the winter. We can always remove that, and take it out to the farm, but that will help immensely in the grading.
Sure.
And I can do that once we get some rain, well, some more rain. And once the road's a little wetter, put some grade in there, but we do it several times a year. If you notice, it's mostly on the right side.
And that's
And it's where we get that business coming in.
Yeah.
They do a lot of damage to that road.
Plus, there's still a lot of sand too. in there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Can I ask a question? The guy that's bidding on our track talked to you about putting
Oh,
gravel down.
Integrity
Yeah.
said that they have the ability, it's what's part of what they do is their business is the grading, and he has access to gravel, not the rock or sand that we have, because we just move it around, what's there. And that, but he was gonna,
for that.
include that with the park, when he gives them his bid for the wall. Okay.
Perfect.
I put Afton Stone down on mine, 'cause my.
And, for the cemetery, I wanna touch briefly on what Andy talked about, our ordinance says that you have to use our contractor for a whole body only. That you could go out and dig anywhere you want, and I contacted, 7 different cemeteries around the area. Not one of them allows anyone but the contractor to dig.
Yes, sir.
And if we just change the wording saying you're required to use the contractor.
Right.
That will solve a lot of problems. Some of our problems stem from every few years, somebody else is out there doing the measuring, doing the.
And the other thing is, raising the fee for plots.
Oh,
Taking notes.
yeah, it says on the report, I checked with several cemeteries, and the plots in the area, the lowest one is Mansell Township. Is $350 a plot. And the average is 500, and Helena Township's is 5.
I think ours is 4.
Is that the 4 plots or is that just one of 4?
Per plot,
For
that's
one,
per,
because
per
once-
grave site.
Once it's sold, there's no more revenue to charge that. We maintain the workers.
Oh, it's not, you used to be able to bury 4 people. Wow. So
That's what I was asking. Is it-
Yeah, no,
This is
not
per grave site, so
per burial site.
basically, we're looking at $1,400 for a 4
Okay.
place.
Which is, that's typical in the area.
Right,
Anymore.
we're charging.
Everybody's trying to deal with the cost of maintaining the cemetery to an acceptable level, and you can't do that at $50 or $100.
Right.
That's what I tax each grade.
So what was your recommendation on the price?
They go from 350 to 500.
350 to 500.
per site, not plot, right?
That is per
It's
grave
per burial
site.
site.
Okay, a 4-place plot has 4 grave sites in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that's my question. You're talking
Yeah.
per individual.
Right, per individual grave site.
Yeah, individual burial site. And she touched on our indigent, our ordinance says we have an indigent burial site.
Then you have no idea where it is.
I have yet to find it. My thought is there's 5 acres there next to the spillway. And because we can't do an indigent full body, that is covered by the Calcasieu County Fund. All we can do is give, an indigent burial, a 2x2 hole. And a scatter garden is on that same area by the spillway. It would take very little to clear some walking paths through there, just to clear some of the brush.
Hook them up to a leaf
A
blower.
bench, yeah, take it out. I mean, people do it all the time. They go out in the woods, they go different, I mean, it happens. The only thing that I think is that we should, if they wanna put some kind of plaque or memorial, they have to go through the township and buy it.
Yeah.
It's standard, say, 5x8.
Yeah.
And we just put something up where, I'm gonna say like a bulletin board that it gets fastened to. Keeping it the same size allows us to maximize it. Again, benches, some rock, you wanna put a rock out there. I think we should put the benches out there. I don't think other people should be able to, or we'll end up with all kinds of stuff.
Right. Okay, Actually, what you should do is, if this gets on the agenda for the next planning commission meeting, just go and put your 2 cents. Attend that one.
Was what?
At the planning commission meeting.
Yeah,
When
okay.
they take this up,
Yeah.
you'll take your notes.
Other thing is, we don't have a date where you have to have the stuff off your loved one's site for us to do our cleanups. And I try my darn hardest to, when I'm blowing and if something gets blown away from there, I try to put it back where it came from. October 1st is standard, May 1st and October 1st is standard around here for cemeteries. After October 1st, then they got no complaint if we go through and pick things up.
Yeah.
We have shoes, fishing poles, baseballs, a lot of alcohol.
Okay, so.
You know, the thing that I would never.
We put a notice in the paper, clean up your grave sites because.
By the
you know,
first, we would, yes, or we would. And, we've had a little issue with the tree last summer. The lady was upset that we cut a tree that was dead.
Her lilac bush.
Her lilac bush. It came back, but our ordinance says you can't plant anything. You can't. So if we just say you have to have written permission, because you can request from the clerk or from the cemetery board permission to put a bush in.
Yeah.
It would stop all the problems if they had to have written permission.
Yeah.
If you write to the clerk or write to the cemetery board and say, hey, and we give you something back in writing saying, yeah, plant that bush.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people are planting it at the very outside edge of their, burial area. And it is not gonna be long before it infringes either into walkways or into the other people's property.
Yeah, well, actually,
If you go by the ordinance, it's not allowed, so
It's not allowed in both dozens and dozens, yeah.
let's not rewrite the zoning or cemetery ordinance here.
No, I'm just saying, if if that came up, other than that, we'll just continue what we're doing. I don't just cut things. If something's dead, we take it out. If we had a request from Diffuse, they had a dead tree that they had planted.
Yeah.
They wanted it removed, we removed it.
Okay.
In fact, I was out there working, they get very called about.
My suggestion would be to make a list and send it to the planning commission.
Okay.
Of all your comments. And then we can kind of decipher and go over everything.
And just go over it item by item.
Yeah, and a couple of things is not in the planning, but like all the trash barrels out there were steel. They rotted out, the bottoms rotted out.
Yeah.
There's 2 out there, they're not sufficient. I'd like to look into getting some plastic barrels. And that will last forever, or at least.
We picked a bunch of them up from the access sites. Where'd they go?
What's that? The metal ones or plastic?
No, the plastic ones that had holes in the side of them for cans.
I don't know, Joe,
There are a bunch of big barrels. I think they might be in the chapel.
I would say, find what do you think was gonna work, that doesn't hold water, per se.
If we have to, we'll hold
And
it.
then, yeah, let Tom know and.
Yeah.
They're necessary, because people are just dumping, putting stuff on the.
So what do you think we need out there? A half dozen or so?
Yeah, half a dozen would work for us. And, at some point up the road, if we erect, a bulletin board, a sign, even if it's right there by the chapel, that says what our ordinances are. The Michigan Township Association recommends we do that. And so that there's a question, we could point to the sign and go, there's the ordinances right there, there's our rule.
Okay. That would be, something that we'd want permanent and probably a pro image to offer.
Yeah, something permanent,
We could put the map
something
in there
similar to
too.
what we have right across the street.
Right.
That sounds like a cemetery committee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay,
And, I think that's it for me.
okay, the other thing I had, one thing I forgot to put in here was under maintenance, the building replacement for cleaning the offices and this.
Yeah, we had applications. Did
I
you
know
have
we
any?
did.
We do have.
And I glanced at them, but I don't have them in front of me, so,
I do have
go somewhere. I'm sure I'm glad the government passed the Paperwork Reduction Act. It just saved a lot of trees, didn't it?
Were they in the packet? Was it in the packet? It was,
No, no.
I seen
I saw them too.
Look at it.
Here we go. Okay, so there was three, but one was the same double. You guys.
There was a third one, Angie's gone, can't remember. It was a guy. It was a
Yeah,
man.
one's a guy and one is, looks like, I don't know if that's.
Is that the one on Gillett? He lives on Gillett? I don't have,
This was in Pine Circle,
oh, okay.
and then the other gentleman is from Williamsburg.
Jody,
I couldn't read it.
B-U-N-G,
Do you know her, Greg?
two. No, I don't recognize any of these people.
Reggie's a part-time work.
I think we should set up something where we have these, have them come
Have a
in.
good interview.
Okay, because he's getting busy, so he won't have the time to.
Between tomorrow, for which Friday is the typical day,
Yeah.
and then that gives us a week to get somebody in, show them what's going on.
Can we get these people in here?
We could do it, we have to schedule something, we're gonna have to schedule the STR meeting, so if you wanna do a Saturday. It's gotta be next one, because May 4th is 2 weeks from now.
I can't do next Saturday, I got update.
We could do a quick interview. And well, you don't need 3 board members.
Right.
So Joanne, Greg and me, we wanna do it in the middle of next week, or so we get time to notify these people.
And say notify them, see if they can make it.
And what I understand is it's gonna turn into a full-time, I mean, we're saying that this person is part-time now.
Well, Doris would come in and what? 2 hours and 2 hours a
And
day.
Doris probably never gonna come back, so.
Well, I know that,
Okay,
but
so
what I'm saying is,
it's all part-time job, but it's not,
it's,
it's open-ended when it ends.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah, so,
yeah.
Just as, so you know, what I've been doing is I do clean Friday, because we have either this rented, that rented, whatever, it's had its week-long meetings. And then on Monday, I come back in and vacuum, sweep, mop over there, straighten up, clean up in here for the week, for the meetings, for everything that goes on, so if they were doing something on Monday and on Friday, that's pretty much what I've
Well,
been doing. Doris only did it once a week, which, that's what she could do.
Well, the thing about it, I don't know what's the COA lunches or the, your club believe for.
Yeah, the COA, if you don't vacuum after COA, you can pick your lunch up.
Yeah, so it's maybe 3 days a week. So it'd be Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Well,
Much.
and I do when I take them apart, because she can't unset the whole thing,
Yeah.
is I just run the vacuum and pick the food up and
Yeah,
make sure it's off the floor, so they don't necessarily have to come in a third day, because I'm here doing that anyway.
I would say get a hold of them,
Nicholas, that's the one.
and you're looking at, what,
You see
3?
the one on Gillett?
no, I didn't see anybody.
No, I don't see anybody.
This is, Elkview Drive in Williamsburg,
And Pine Circle Drive.
Pine Circle,
I saw one on Gillett.
and the other one, the third one isn't here.
Third one is,
Because that was this was, Jody was on here twice, this one was on there, and then for the third one, she sent me, but I didn't.
I don't remember
Do
that.
you remember, Margaret? Yes. Oh, because I discussed the one on Gillett.
Well, I'll look it up, I know I got it from Angie. Okay, and so where are we at now?
So you're gonna set up a meeting
Okay.
and let,
Yeah, well, I'll call these people, and then, I'll get a hold of Greg. And interrupt this fishing trip, you, one of the two.
No, I take that up with grants.
Well, we're talking about an hour out of your day, and, you know, if you're operating off the lunar calendar, okay, there's a dead space in there anyway. So,
Three right here.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get it.
I'll get it sometime next week, so we can pick one and get her signed up. Or him, as the case may be. Okay, so we're finished with maintenance.
Maintenance is gonna take care of the trash cans that you want, let Tom know.
Okay, public safety didn't have a quorum, so they didn't have a meeting, I was informed of that. Parks and Recreation, he's gonna do the layout with the trucks. Okay,
Yeah, we won't, yeah.
okay, and you, maybe the Heritage Festival, Committee, or Heritage Committee. Can come up with, some volunteers. Okay, we're gonna need tires. Tires is gonna be cause that's.
We've got you wanna tell them?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the new postmaster is connected with the wrestling team for Kalkaska.
Yeah.
So we've contacted the wrestling team from Kalkaska to come and help. But we thought, if that does materialize, then maybe we should provide like a pizza lunch or something in that order.
Oh, yeah. And then the other thing would be, sorting, scrap metal, cause I did get a hold of, it was Ripken, but it's, family owned.
Breakfast garage?
No, Grandpa's Garage, couldn't do the 4th. So, the Rifkin in Traverse City was sold to, another family.
Padnos?
And I have a 50-yard dumpster reserved for scrap metal. And Grandpa's Garage pulled out a 70-yarder last year.
And we were way
And you were way over it.
Yeah,
So
way over.
I asked him if I could get another 50, and he said I could probably get a 40 or a 30 out there, but I can't get another 50.
anything.
Okay, so I'm trying to get 2 of them out there, but we got one for sure. I'll stay on them, see if we can get the second one. Then we need people to sort. And the other thing is, communication last year was, so basically we use our cell phones or text. If we got a problem with somebody trying to sneak something in that's not allowed. We can use, like red stickers or something, put it on the windshield on the car or the truck and just, when these guys get to either the scrap metal or the garbage truck, this guy has this in his pickup, make sure it doesn't get off his truck. You know, so there's no confusion there, because, you know, I hauled it all over here, I'm gonna throw it out here, and no, that's not gonna fly. So, and we'll be turning people away if they get out.
One thing that was noticed at our carnival, we've got to watch, there's still glass there. When you drive, you can see it, just the whole driveway where the trucks were parking.
Yeah,
And we need to probably put gravel over that or something. It's great.
you know, we'll just park the garbage trucks over the glass. Let them worry about flat tires.
What hours, so I know what hours the trash pickup is, are we gonna do longer hours for the tires? Or just that's it, we're not taking tires after that?
No.
Or are people gonna be able to leave them and
If,
drop?
when the bins are full, the bins are full. If they're not full, okay, that's basically, because once the garbage trucks leave, we're done.
Okay, no, but the tire truck,
The tire,
so he's gonna have it there 2 days, I think he's gonna leave it over the weekend.
yes, I
So
know.
we gonna allow people to
So
drop
if
tires
we
off?
have empty space, we'll just put the word out to people that, have, extra tires that we know of.
Yeah.
Okay.
My thought is if the trailer's there for 2
Bring them
days,
until they're full, you know.
You can leave the trailers open, nobody's gonna steal the tires. And if you bring, I mean, if there's, and there's room, let somebody bring the tires and help.
they can load them up.
Yeah, it's not like the scrap
After
metal.
Yeah, but we just have to, have to let them know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so, and would, on the flyer, just put, we will accept, up to 10 tires per household until the bins are full. Because the hours for the garbage trucks and the cleanup is 7 to noon. So if we let them know after hours, tires only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on. Roads Committee finally.
Well, road commissioner, states that the permits have been signed for Underhill Road. Look for
equipment starts showing up and they'll be removing those bridges any day, could happen,
Yeah, any day,
any day.
yeah, because I've been getting phone calls.
I informed the road commission about the request for a price on the 2-inch overlay, oils. And the drainage issue and that.
Yeah.
Let's see, I told them about the approval to get Gordy Frazier to reline 3 lanes, you know, 2, and a turn lane.
Yes.
Has that been,
I rattled a cage on it, but that was between them. When last time I did that, I sent an email to John and Gordy Frazier, and they told me it's between the 2 of them to butt out, so that's where I'm standing.
They're sweeping the street tomorrow.
they're stripping the street tomorrow?
Because that's gonna take a design and then.
Yeah, but I was told that there was, and we did get an approval. And even a vote and everything to pay for it, but I was told that, we had to contact Gordy Frazier to initiate that, so if it's been done, that's great.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll rattle the cage again.
Yeah, if that isn't done and they do pave it, they'll reline it
Well-
with the 4 lanes and then we'll be stuck with that for a while.
Yeah, the thing about it is too, is, I brought up the, subject of a crosswalk between, the party store and the cone club. There really isn't one there. So, that should be included in that too, but, and you could probably get a grant to pay for that too. So that should be, anyway. Okay, anything
So,
else?
yes, oh, yes, let's see. I told them about the approval of the second Bryan application. And that we're gonna be extending or creating a fund for Zimmerman. I informed them about our priority list. I'll say also, I confirmed that the crack seal and tar and chipping of Rapid City Road, restriping as well, is all gonna be paid by the county. We are not responsible for any of that. It's gonna be, $275,000 and, well, $275,098, out of the county tax fund, that they get taxes for the roads. And then, 36,902 is how much the road commission, is supplying for a total of $312,000 to get that done. And then the, road committee, I had a couple things there. I just gave Joanne some, quotes. I have, I think, 3 different companies there that I requested prices on, stuff like that, for these flashing speed signs that we've all kind of been talking about there. There's one particular company there is my recommendation, and I have 4 of them listed on there. It's about $13,000. However, they all include the batteries, the solar charging apparatus. It's a complete, 4 complete units. I figured 2 on Rapid City Road. And then
2 at Crystal Beach.
either Crystal Beach or
Arwood.
or Valley Road.
Or
And
Rapid
these all
City South.
Yeah, all these mounting.
Just move them
brackets.
around every once in a while.
Yep, the mountain brackets will mount to any pole, so these are real movable type things. There's a price quote again there on 4 of them that's pretty positive, and probably the best deal after looking at.
Hey, Jim,
Yes, sir.
I looked at this earlier, and I know there's one out there that keeps track of the time of day.
Yeah, they all.
Is that the one you're recommending?
Yes, that, it comes free with a year. After that, there's like
Yeah, there's
a fee to
Fee,
keep
yeah.
doing it, but I've learned that if you request it, the road commission, they have that apparatus.
Yeah.
And they can come out and do it anywhere we want.
Traffic count.
Yeah. But again, that, and I think it's the one that, well, all of them actually had that, but they usually expire after a year.
Yeah.
It's just some general.
So we can get, basically a speed count and a traffic count at different times of the day, so.
That's
you
correct.
Provide that information to the county sheriff.
Tells you when you need to be
Is
out
that
there.
solar?
Yes.
Is that solar?
Yes, it is solar powered. There's no hookup light.
You wanna write some tickets, so here, during this time.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. It'll say,
you know, the highest periods of traffic, a lot of different stuff on there. In fact, it's. I put some stuff in there on the software itself, so.
Did you email that to everybody or?
No,
No, not all those,
How many pages?
probably the most valuable thing.
Well, we can make copies of that and spread it out.
Okay, I mentioned to Tom and everybody, may have heard something about this right now, but we've got an individual that's blocked Snyder Road. I'm not so sure that they.
I drove it the other day. Okay, both ends, went up a seasonal road until a blacktop driveway and I didn't go up any further.
Okay.
But there were no obstacles.
You can come in the.
you gotta come from the other end.
Come from Gillett and go
Yeah,
up
It's like
Dale.
third
That's the one
property
thing.
in on the right.
Yeah.
That's the one I didn't do.
I was gonna take a ride out there on.
Yeah, they built a berm, and then back in March, they actually parked a vehicle on it with big signs and it says, stay the F out. And what they're doing is, by creating that, there's a gas pipeline just to the south of that a little ways, so they're forcing people to go use the easement that the power line or the,
Did you let Rogers know this?
yeah, he's on vacation, he's in Hawaii right now.
Okay,
It's been going on a while though, and apparently they have video on it, they've kind of been, you know, keeping an eye on it, but,
maybe that's something that our deputy could check out,
probably a good idea.
because he's obstructing the road.
Yeah, and I looked on the GIS map, and there is a little jog in the property along that road there, so some of them come out a little ways further than the other, it's not a real straight line. So, you know, there may be some truth to what he is
Yeah.
talking about, but I think in the area that he is at, and they've measured it by GPS with the county truck, and they're like stating something like 500 feet off this guy is.
Why don't we send John West up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe send Marv and John.
Mhm.
It's actually Sharice Fink's property, but it's her boyfriend that has put up the
But
barricade.
there's another address too besides hers.
There's another address that has no access right now because of that, I guess.
Oh.
So there's, and this is someone that
And it's a
just.
seasonal road that's travelable by anybody, It's just not improved.
You want,
Yeah.
write that down and have John and Marv.
Yeah.
I have also been told by the county road commission that there is not a complete passage through there, that there is a portion that you do drive over private property. Never been an issue. This is not the same location of where it's being blocked right now, but there is another portion of Schneider Road that crosses private property.
That's interesting, because it's always.
All right, next, Clearwater Township Road Committee is May 21st. I'm good.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, Parks and Recreation.
Just one quick thing, if you did like that and you wanted to make a motion and approve it and everything like that, they'll ship that right out to us there.
You're talking about the traffic.
Who's gonna install
Well, they're pole mounted, I'm pretty sure that the county would do that.
For a fee.
There may be a fee involved, yeah, I know. Oh, and one other thing I was gonna say too, the Glade Valley Bridge, the old iron bridge signs that are down there. I've been told that we have, or we can remove those, because there is no longer an iron bridge. But we can reuse the poles, and it's been requested that we put a double arrow sign at the end of Main Street at Round Lake Road intersection. I guess that's kind of a hard one to see or something like that. So we can reuse those poles and just pull the signs off.
Oh, okay, so you're talking about where it tees, Round Lake tees into.
Yeah.
Yes.
That lady was sitting right over you,
Yeah.
that, they end up in her front yard all the time.
That's correct.
Okay.
So that's kind of an ask, is to remove the, old iron bridge easement signs.
Okay, so what do we wanna do on these traffic signs?
I would say we go ahead and get them ordered.
There's gonna be lead time on that one.
Okay.
So if we can get them out before Memorial Day,
that'd be great. Be great.
Okay.
Tell John, if he'll put these up, we'll let him have traffic jobs from.
Yeah, exactly. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we,
I was just gonna say, there's a couple of different estimates there, so when you make the motion, there's.
yeah,
Figure out which one.
the 13,121.
That's unfortunately the one I'm recommending.
Well,
I will say
Well,
this, there's
That could
34
come out of the Metro Fund.
Yeah,
Right,
there's
it's all right.
34,000 in there to pay for.
I mean, that's an excellent use of that right away.
Right. Okay, the Metro Fund, and we're looking at 13 what?
13,121 plus freight. They do not quote freight. Well, they did quote freight at 525, but
Yeah,
it's not a,
That will bring it here, that price right there. Something else too is I'm gonna need some information because they did not charge taxes. I said we're a municipality, so. That is, that estimate does not include tax, so I'm assuming that we don't have to pay tax.
No, we don't. What we do is when we send in the order, our tax exempt form will go
Right,
in.
they need that.
you want a quote number?
What's that?
You want a quote number?
Yeah,
QU03685 R7H558.
558, read back. QU03685 R7H558.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Let me just see. Sorry. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve from the Metro Fund $13,120, $121 plus freight charge for 4 speed signs?
4 times.
What do we have in the auction?
34,000.
Yeah, it's 30, we've got 34,082.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote, Ms. Childs.
Yes.
Yeah, well, those are the ones I have, so.
Mr. Keys.
Yes.
Mr. Bradley.
Yes.
And me.
I'll make a copy of this top page.
Okay.
Okay, I made the motion. Bradley was second. Okay, so that's fine. All right, now we get to Parks and Recreation.
Well, there was one more thing, there was the, remove the old iron bridge sign and reuse the poles and install a double arrow sign at the end of Main Street.
Now, basically,
That's a no cost.
I don't know if we
that's, no, we don't really need to, that is, those were put up by what, the Michigan Tourist, whatever, the county. You can count them up.
The old iron bridge?
So,
I was told those are our signs.
so the county would do it and reuse the poles.
Reuse the poles.
Okay, and then put a T sign, big yellow double arrow sign. Okay, yeah, so you can make that suggestion. And if there's a charge, just let us know, because it ain't gonna be much.
Okay, it was $250, wasn't it, Jim?
250.
200, yeah, also.
All right, and that, like recycles supposedly. All right. Parks and Rec. The request, how do we accept donations for park improvements? They would just, be made out to, what's our fund called? Parks and
I'm
Rec?
not sure how, we've got a public improvement fund, but I'm not sure if that's that. We have parks, and I'm not, we have to find out about that. I mentioned to them, and they know, we've got Deneen's on the board. I've started a 501c3. We're in the process of getting it approved. It's called Friends of Clearwater Township Parks, where hopefully we can get it in a letter going out in summer taxes, at least by winter taxes, so short-term rental, anybody can, you want a tax deduction? Here, and it goes in there, and there's a committee that will decide on where it goes. Now, when this was brought up, Mr. Keel, at our parks meeting, he's got people who wants to donate. But he wants to make sure if they donate, it goes into that spot. I get to figure out how to do that right now, because if they want a tax deduction, we don't know, we question, is there still a 501c3? We have to figure that out because Cannon and the group that started it, what's happening with it, and he is supposed to come. I asked him to come this meeting, but he's coming to the parks meeting, to see what's happening because we just have to figure out what to do with that. The board's got to figure out what to do with that park. Are we gonna cancel all that? And,
That's gonna have to go through,
yeah, I
take
think
some
we talked about
research.
going through legal.
That's gonna take some research because it took a half of the state legislature to create that park, so you're gonna have to rescind that. If we're gonna do anything else with it, and we have to break the lease.
Right.
So. Okay, so what, you're gonna work on,
I don't know about that.
I mean, if people wanna donate $100 when they pay their taxes to the Parks and Rec Fund, what's wrong with that? Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, they have their own budget.
Yeah.
So they don't have to, they just make it up to Parks and Rec and they put it through the bank.
Yeah. But he wants a specific for that, so we're gonna have to have it separate, specific for what he wants it for. I'm just not sure about all that.
What?
Josh Keel, he's getting donations for that, people who wanna do the disc golf.
Oh,
And so I would have to find out about that, how we could do that. Do we put it, this fund for disc golf? This
Don't
fund for
you,
something
aren't you
else?
501c3 or something?
Pardon?
Aren't you 501c3?
That was up
you're talking
there.
about the
I
Heritage Committee?
No, the Parks and Rec, no.
No.
Parks and Rec.
No, there's 4 of us creating one with the help of an attorney and other advisors, and Sue Kelly said she would help me, but we filed it, we're waiting for information, we got the bylaws, and I got the information from, Marv Radke. I said, how can we do this? And they did one very successfully in Green Lake Township, and it's called Friends of Green Lake Township.
Friends, whatever.
Yeah, we already created it.
Well, as long as you got the paperwork stuff in, it doesn't take that long, cause it took us less than 6 months at the fire department.
You have to register with the state, you have to register with the IRS, and it's basically what you get is 2 years to get all your paperwork together. Okay, and file it, okay?
We just have to do the bylaws.
And then you have an audit of your finances and the issues.
One thing I know is you gotta take in less than $15,000 a year.
Yeah, do what?
Taking less than 15,000 a year, they don't actually report anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a limit, I don't know. Okay,
Anyway, that's.
I seen the figure 15.
are you taking notes?
Yeah, I don't have
Second
any
question,
that.
the second question here, unused portion of the budget. It rolls over. Any
Yeah, sure.
removal and transfer of funds from an established millage, okay, has to be approved by the board and the amount transferred from one account to another. Okay, so yes, if you have unused money from your millage, it just rolls over into your next budget.
No, it's like, yeah.
Okay, is there an update on, say, the M72 property? I didn't even get to legal, I didn't even get to that at the moment. I do have to send that to them, so
There's gonna be some discussion on May 7th.
because I have to send them the whole package. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, they're in violation of the lease at the moment. The Michigan Heritage and Research Center is broke. They don't have any money. All right, I haven't been able to get a hold of that guy. I did look him up. They do have a current. Jerry Cannon,
Jerry Cannon, you're talking,
No, this is for the state.
Oh.
The ones that want all these monuments and stuff out there. This is who the lease was granted to. All right.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So, I mean, you gotta connect all the dots here.
You're talking to the lease from the state that we got title to the land.
Right.
With the string.
Okay, we are gathering estimates for resurfacing the paved walking loop at Heritage Park.
We've got 2 estimates and I've already forwarded them to the board, the Parks Board, and we'll be dealing with that on May 7th.
Okay,
And one was from Picture Perfect, which did this, and the other one was for, Integrity Asphalt, they live in our township.
Yeah, I didn't see those.
I gave them, I forwarded them, I could forward to you right now. But we figured they would look at it and then bring them to you.
Okay, and then you said you had some repairs to make because part of it was crumbling,
That was all included in what they're doing, the different bids for Heritage Trail.
Take care of the roots, words.
Yeah,
And I think the third one was Great Lakes asphalt. Great Lakes. And I don't
Take a
know,
look.
I don't know if they're still in business, but that's
No.
another one.
Was
Do we
Mr.
need-
Perfect that did these and.
Yeah, Picture Perfect, this is one, and the other one was Integrity.
Integrity Asphalt.
If you look at the work he did last year, you know, walking over here tonight, it looks like it's pretty dang new yet.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I checked the spot in front of the fire hall where they did
that's
that
where they did the patch.
patch and it's
Yeah, they put
like
it's
new.
The only part, I got a puddle out in the middle of that, and I didn't even point it out,
I will forward those to the whole board, and we will be talking about it on meeting and then,
Right,
and may vote.
so that goes on, the main agenda.
That's the loop resurfacing, right?
Yeah, the walk repair. Okay, cleanup day volunteers. Remote pickup, we are or we're not doing that? It was something we did 2 years ago, that's what it was. I don't think we did it last year.
We did some last year, the Heritage did, because we took donations, we had a garage sale.
Yeah,
And we're discussing whether to do that again as people bring in stuff, find out if there's anything that's usable that we donated, and last year we just took it off their vehicle set aside, we made $150 as the people were driving in, they'd see, I want that, how much you got, $20, gone. So
well,
it was pretty.
you're gonna have to have some volunteers to sort some of that stuff out and a place to put it, which means you're gonna have to give it to Craig, so. It's not in the way, in any shape or form, and it disappears.
Craig is now, he asked if he could leave the pavilion enclosed until after our pickup day, and that would be a perfect place to put stuff in,
Okay,
until we can take it. If
all
we
right,
decide.
the thing I had banner status, where are our banners?
I think they've been ordered, but I don't. What they're gonna be, the banners that we're getting are 12 banners.
Who's checking on that?
Pardon?
Who's gonna be checking on banners?
That's the parks, to keep up on that,
But you're the liaison, right?
yeah, but they haven't said anything yet.
The money was approved for it, I just
And
wanted,
it was our chairperson that actually has been dealing with Pro Image. Have you heard, Margaret, from Michael? No. We're putting up
Okay.
12 banners.
somebody wanna do some follow-up on that besides me?
I'll have to get a hold, yeah, well, I'll ask Michael, we'll get a hold of Michael and find out where it's at, because he's been communicating with them. But there's 12 banners, 4 designs.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Okay, the Heritage Ball Field maintenance, has that been started yet?
It's gone, but it has been started, I know that.
We got a waiver of liability out of them, you sign that so we can use our equipment, correct?
He already has it.
We already did, did we vote to pay him by the hour?
No, well, that was supposed to go back to Park and Rec.
Okay, yeah, all right, so that's.
Because there's a couple things, because if he can mow, he wants to mow the ball fields after this
Oh, I
month. He said
understand.
he mow the ball fields, because sometimes it's 2 times or whatever. And if he does that, then that's kicking off Craig, well, the township could pay part of that, and then the parks could pay, and I don't know how you would separate that.
It's a parks thing, it should come out of the parks budget,
It's up to you,
okay? But, and that's an issue for the parks and next parks meeting,
but the
but
parks does not pay Craig to do the mowing now.
I understand that.
Okay,
But it comes out of, the mowing generally comes out of the general fund. This is a specific,
I got an email when we discussed that, and Christie and Kelly were under the impression that the millage money, we can't use the millage money because it's for grants, and it's not. I got the writing of it, Margaret got from me, and it does not say for grants, for matching grants. It says for maintenance and, something else for the park. So I sent that to them to clarify. So. That's the only way we're gonna get people coming in. We gotta have someone to manage it. So.
Well, I understand that,
Yeah.
so.
So I'm for the
The
parks.
thing about it is, who's paying for the mowing and the upkeep of ball fields? Now, that's a separate issue, that's Parks and Recreation. Craig is a maintenance guy,
Right. That's fine.
he's gonna take care of the perimeter. Anything that's not maintained,
So I will bring to the parks meeting on May 7th that the parks pay for the manager and what he
Right.
does,
for
okay?
the ball field management. Okay, unfinished business, STR review date, there we go again.
We've got to do it quick.
Actually, we do need 3 people. But, basically Christine suggested that we should get together and run through this before the meeting. So, and what we got left is Article 6, which is violations, fines, Article 7, which is enforcement. So 2 sections, and the rest is just boilerplate stuff, you know, severability and all this other good stuff, effective date. So, I'd like to do it May 4th is the cleanup day, so if I can get, she's gonna be back Saturday?
Should be back Monday.
Okay. She'll be back this Monday, so I'll check with her. And I need one of the 2 of you to show up, and what we'll do is, so we're gonna combine our notes and what we've done so far. Reprint this, and the only red letters up for discussion will be, chapter or Article 6 and 7, and, the rest is pretty much self-explanatory. And then we'll compare notes. And then, maybe Saturday, which is what, 20th?
This coming Saturday,
This coming Saturday.
Yeah.
You gonna be camping again?
camper is out of commission.
Okay, so I'll try to set it up Saturday, I'll set a blurb out, and then, what we'll do is post the meeting on the doors. And I'll try and get, as many people,
What time Saturday?
I'll do the 10 a.m. thing, so we're not screwing up everybody's entire day. Get out of here by noon. And then we'll have something that we can actually send to the lawyer.
Do we have time to do that? If we do it tomorrow? It has to be what, 18 hours or 24 hours?
It has to be, minimum 18 hours.
18 hours, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. So, no, if she's gonna be back on Monday, cause I don't have the,
She's not gonna be working till Tuesday, so. She's coming
yeah,
back
but I'm talking about this coming Monday, she'll be back.
at some point.
Okay, so the next Saturday.
Oh, okay, yep.
All right, that's
Which
the
is
20th at 10 a.m. So we can go skip all the way down to
This Saturday is the 20th.
Yeah, so that will be
27th.
27th.
that's
Okay.
the weekend.
Yeah, but, too much of my Rolodex. Okay, 27th. At 10 a.m. at the schoolhouse. Okay, the inventory, Craig had some found items and some missing items to amend the inventory on the meeting.
We need to check and see if this building's rented at this point.
I went by receipts. So I don't know where those receipts would be.
So, once we get that amended, we can come up with a total. So we can turn that in before July.
Well, I'm not gonna include those items that Craig brought up, because how do I know? When I did my inventory, I went off what I had.
Okay. And he's found some items that did you correct, or that found items that he found, that were on your list as missing?
On my list?
Schoolhouse is open.
Oh, yeah, those already
So
been,
it's corrected to that.
those already been taken out, I
back to school, that's the gym's basketball.
All
At
right,
10 in the morning.
so all we need is come up with a reasonable
We
total.
have to schedule,
We need to put it on
schedule.
a
it.
sheet of paper so we can file it with the
You already
insurance.
got it. Already did that.
I don't have it. Craig's got it.
Everybody got it.
What was it you're talking about? I'm sorry.
He's saying the,
Inventory
list.
packet.
Okay,
Missing items.
I think it was picked up by
Okay,
somebody by mistake.
I will give you another copy.
Yeah, and so basically I can put it in pretty much an email form. Just do a list and then come up with a total so I can submit that insurance claim before it expires. We've got 1 year from the date of incident report.
I don't think we can do that. We need to get on the sheriff.
Mhm.
About this, because he's not updating us, he's not getting back to us, so I need to get with the sheriff.
Okay.
And find out what's going on.
And should we the state trooper too? Because we have 2 people working on
Are you
No, I
talking about?
know the state trooper did
This-
come see Greg, right? Or talk to you?
No, that was, the county detective.
Okay,
He called, and it was about the gasoline
okay,
and, you know,
Okay.
gotcha.
at the building.
Okay, so we got 2 other separate issues here. We've got, the missing money from what is it, the scrap?
Yep,
Okay.
$195 check.
Okay, and then the other thing is the B and E. The B and E went to the county
Oh.
sheriff. The missing scrap money went to the
State.
state police.
and,
And they're both,
And
and the gas,
the village market went to the state police.
yeah, so that market went to the state police as well.
okay, the village market issue should have been resolved.
The scrap metal place told me they would not deal with Pelcastra sheriffs. That's where we got the state trooper.
Okay.
I made a very point blank. I said, well, we can say that to them.
All right, new business funds on the, ARPA commit, basically,
We just have to fill out that form.
yeah.
I'd say you just leave the money with that. You tell me to decide what
Yeah.
to do with it.
Well, that's what I want, I don't wanna get too excited, but if it has to be, a project has to be submitted for committing the funds, then
It's this reason.
I'll read the recent rule update. I get like, a week, oh, we changed this.
Well, we need to get on the people that's supposed to be doing the drawings, we need to get on there.
The office edition, Brian, you've had some input on this, on the office edition remodel?
Well, you know, right now you already have, and there was 2 drawings, we've been only finding 1 now, but one time I had seen 2 new drawings. And instead of going to a big architect firm for what they're drawing up there, I mean, I got a designer, he's not an architect. I mean, he can draw up a concept drawing for
Yeah,
under $1,000 like that,
yeah, I know.
instead of paying.
That's how we got,
Yeah, that's all we need, the concept drawing.
right.
And you guys kind of look what Joanne's drawn up, and if that's what you want, then I can have them draw it up. We just kind of need approval that you're good at spending $1,000.
No, because Joanne and I have a difference of opinion on how we're supposed to approach this. So-
That's why I brought the combination here. You were going for the one with just the hat right here, right? And that was, Greg says that was proposed by the former board, putting the offices there. Offices do not make money. We need a multi-purpose room. And that's why I put that other drawing, I kind of took it off, and we could make the bathrooms bigger, have a shower, male, female showers. We could put a kitchen in there and a big multi-purpose room. You said it was gonna be 30 by, what did we say?
And the offices.
Well, 30 by, to go clear to the end with the roof line, right?
Okay, all right, so what we need to do is, I have a basic concept, it was just on graph paper that I gave to GFA. So if she can come up with a sketch pad, I mean, I can even do it, I can do that. You know, so we have a couple of different options here, we can figure out what plans, what approach we wanna make, what plans we want drawn.
Well,
But we've been
listen,
waiting on her forever.
listening to the fire chief and stuff, though, I mean, I feel like if you make the multi-purpose room over there, you can accommodate 75% of what you was saying in that room to do. Why can't you do blood drives over there? Why can't you do the meetings over there? Why can't you do training over there? It'd be a multi, I mean, why couldn't you utilize, real close to the fire station? I mean, a lot of the things he was mentioning that room would be used for over there
Yeah.
would be.
Well, the problem is over there, is your space limited. Yeah, I think, our charter, like, it's limited to like 38 people in a meeting.
Okay, so my concept is pretty much move the offices first, get rid of those two sheds up there. Okay, so that you open up the west end, okay, to do all that she wants to do. Okay, because the kitchen's gonna be there. Okay, the stage becomes a conference room.
Where's the kitchen?
Okay, and the rest of it becomes record space and expanded, John's, but we already have the plumbing. Okay, so all the current office space becomes ADA compliant restrooms. Cool. You know, I put showers in and put showers. So I'm looking at a two-phase.
It has to be two-phase. I mean, if you're doing an addition, you do addition, you move all your offices into the addition. Then you remodel your offices into your bathrooms and your new offices. Then it has to be a two-phase process.
Well, your cheapest way to go is to recycle your bathrooms into bathrooms, your old kitchen into a new kitchen, and the stage area and the offices.
The problem with,
Bathrooms will never meet.
Well, what I'm saying is two different ways to approach this thing, okay?
if we have a
The thing
multi-purpose
is,
room,
is office,
if, we-
the office is, I mean, it's like an anthill in there, so.
you're talking about putting the kitchen right where it's at right now?
I'm talking about expanding halfway into the
Yeah.
stage and getting rid of the maintenance room, the
Yeah.
HVAC, which needs to be updated. That stage needs to be gone, and we can also,
But then,
rewire all the lights for LEDs and.
If you guys had a wish list though, I mean, that's what we need. We need bathrooms, we need a kitchen, we need this, and then that's where the designer comes in, right?
mhm.
It's like, hey, it makes sense, like you're saying, it makes sense to keep the bathrooms over here, this is how we do this, to keep plumbing here. But what we need is, what do you guys want, and then we can incorporate it in a very simple.
Right, so,
But we don't want to use the old kitchen because people will be eating in the gym. If we have a multi-purpose room and a kitchen and bathrooms, people will be eating there, the tables will
if
be
you're
there.
gonna rent out the gym as a banquet room, as a banquet room, or for spaghetti dinners or something.
We wouldn't use it then. We would use the multi-purpose room, which is gonna be 30 by whatever,
And where would you put the offices?
back right where they're at, move them south. That whole area where they're at now.
Okay,
clear to
so
the south.
we're picking a dead horse here, so.
Okay, let's take a look at it and have.
Well, I don't think that you guys should even decide. I mean, you guys are already where to put stuff, like I said, what do you want?
Right,
Right,
And then you draw up, hey, here is
Yeah.
why, like.
It needs to be
as a
discussed.
designer, well, they will make those choices for you, you don't need to argue about where the offices go, I mean,
no,
here's option A, here's option B.
Okay. so,
What's the way?
You know, what you want, how many offices,
What do you need versus your wants, are two different things.
yeah,
Basically, offices that we gotta be, some disaster happens, we gotta be able to feed.
yeah,
right, so we need a commercial kitchen, a commercial kitchen.
Showers, you know.
We need showers, which can be accomplished at the same time. And the stage can become a conference room, but the offices have to move. The records have to move. There are no sheds out there, okay? The HVAC needs to be replaced.
so offices make sense with the stage and where the whole kitchen is really, I mean. Can you take the back?
All the utilities are in the same place doing that, okay, rather than moving everything.
the bathrooms are right now on the north side.
Okay, so what we need to do is figure out what we wanna do.
Should we get a committee again, another committee, which we've had how many over the years? You've been on one time.
Well, I'll tell you,
We need to get a hold of that lady and find out if something she still wants to do for us, or if we need to move on.
and I can also, what is it, pre-move off or whatever, they are, the other ones that can be original.
Yeah.
So we can pull those up again, we'll do another walkthrough, figure out what it is we need to do. Make a list of that, and then where to put it.
Can I suggest one more thing? Ryan mentioned something, I can't remember what he called it, because when we take the stage out, the ceiling's gonna be really high. And you mentioned steps going up and around the top.
Well,
You know, I'm saying
basically,
that in where the stage is now, we mentioned that.
so, you know.
Well, we could put storage up there.
Well,
Yeah, anyway, yeah.
let's move on, and I'm not gonna argue over it, so. Okay, contracts for zoning, I was gonna ask, John is taken care of as far as, tax forms, and he's been sworn in. And the employee contract. Okay, which needed to be modified, evidently, but I guess we used the old one. And he needs, would be a drug test and a physical. So, that needs to be scheduled, and I don't know who does that,
Our physicals are 550 months in Traverse City.
all right, and, didn't we use the same ones for Craig and John? Yes,
I think that's where they went.
same thing, so. We need to schedule that,
What is it, do an occupation bed or something like that?
yeah, you wanna, basically get up with John and schedule an appointment with your doctor.
I can give them the information and to tell them to.
Or just give him the information.
Yeah, I'll give him the information.
Let him make you some appointment. And the deputy treasurer.
He was asked, we have what's called a new hire physical,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Cemetery remarking, I don't know if Craig got a call in or Angie, but that's been on my hot list this week.
That's what I talked to Farrier about.
So we can
last
find all of the existing markers, and then, I will get a hold of this, the Five Lake Sexton. Okay, and find out how they, cause I guess they just rent it from penetrating radar, they did it themselves.
Do we used to have a sexton, do we still have a sexton?
Yeah,
Pete,
But should
we have Pete.
talking to him?
He does all of them right now.
Oh, he doesn't have a map of the cemetery, he plants them where we tell
Yeah.
him, okay? So I wanted a current map, and evidently they have one, but they didn't want a part with it, cause I told Craig to get on there. Tell him he's gonna take it over to the equalization office where they've got that 40-inch wide printer, okay, and copy it so that we had a copy of their current survey for the cemetery.
Can I add some? I tried to get that copy.
They said they have an electronic, a PDF copy, so if they do that, we get a hold of that, we can send that to equalization, have them print one out, so we're not squinting with a magnifying glass.
I discussed that with Mr. Ferrier. I asked if I could take, because I saw it there. He said the one, ours, I don't even know where ours is. But it doesn't look like he has now. And he agreed, I called back and he agreed, when he finds the AutoCAD thing, he's gonna send it to Dee at BX, Lisa's business, and she's gonna copy it off the number of copies that we want.
Okay, so we would get that, did he say what date was on it?
No, Dee has not received that email from him yet, but we'll follow.
What I heard was 1983.
It was, yeah.
Manfalon went back to
But we
1880.
were, the boards.
No, that's our current
Oh,
survey.
our current map, okay.
He said the boards back then, were gonna have him do it on a regular basis, and the boards before us never did that, so we gotta make arrangements.
There's no further business on the agenda, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
One question. I'd like permission to go to the equalization department and start on a new contract for fire department services to Rapid River. Okay, because that's in June and we haven't updated.
Oh, that's right.
July 1st.
Yeah.
We haven't, I mean, you know, inflation has ate up everything.
Right, so you need to know what their taxable value is for the portions we're covering. The class.
Oh, really?
That,
The Carol.
okay, yeah, get a hold of Dawn.
You guys will look at, okay, yeah. I'm gonna
So we
do
can
the
come
job.
up with a compact. Okay, public comment.
I wasn't here, so I was wondering about what you decided to do for the cleanup day. As far as, because I'm the one that is right there when they come. And I think that we need a way to notify the people.
Oh, yeah, we discussed
We
that.
discussed that because
You're
last
right.
year I got blamed.
Your idea, we understand it, okay?
We're not charging any money.
We're not charging anything, what we're looking for is unacceptable material. Okay, and basically, I said everybody's gonna be hanging on their cell phone, so we can text back and forth or call and say, this pickup with the red dot on the windshield has this in it, make sure it doesn't get off the truck. Okay? And if you insist on taking it off, you turn them around and send them home. And the other thing I already talked to the deputy about, hanging out
The meter over there.
all morning Saturday. So if there's any issues with anybody, we got a cop right there.
Last year Jerry came and tried
Yeah,
to.
I know, he was out there today and coming out, going dumpster diving at the house next door. Okay, now, I will entertain a motion to.
I make a motion, we adjourn for the rest of the week.
10:44.
We're back to doing the long ones again.
I need What's this? Big message. Let me tell you about the book on the way. And this is the signed copy of this.
Joe, those are just a sampling of the trash house. Not even all of them.
What's that?
The
These pictures.
John is a sampling.
Yeah, John, I don't know if you're here when John was here, when he was explaining all, he's seen all of us.
Oh, yeah.
I've been. I was.
Getting in the hole.
I think, yeah, that's. There's more. Oh, yeah, there is.
That's only a smidgen of them.
He has a list of these contacts.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Hey, Jeff.
But what I have done is the fact that.